Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. I've got a couple of things to talk about. Not much today, but before we get into that, as always, y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to turn to. Welcome back. It's Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, and we're going to get into a little bit of boxing, a little bit of speculation, a little bit of everything today. So, anywho, I know most of you guys don't have my Facebook, but I do have an IG page. I don't even know the damn name. I think it's TDT, sorry for the noise, TDT 50 or something like that, IG. I'll clarify that later. But anywho, y'all saw the thumbnail. First, I want to welcome D Young to the building. What's poppin', King? He said, "Salute, Queen." Yeah, quite a few speculations, and I hope y'all don't mind. It's just how T's mind works. And sometimes I'll be hitting a nugget. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I can be wrong, and I can admit when I'm wrong. I want to remind you guys to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button when you step into the square circle. Lean on that lazy when you step into the easy. I want to remind you that my phone is open 706-804-4449. Also down the bottom scrolling is my email address. If you have any questions or anything, don't forget to tune in Friday for Grown Woman Talk. Fellas, please tune in. Speak your mind. As grown women, we're going to talk from women perspectives. Our perspective is not the only perspective. That's why we want y'all to chime in and join us on the show. Anywho, so I always do a water check. Y'all know the two most important times to drink water during the day, as I see it. First thing in the morning, when your body gets up, just think of your body as an engine. Before you hit the ground, you should have a glass of water sitting waiting for you on your nightstand next to the bed. And, you only need about 8 ounces. Chug that down right quick before you do anything. Before them toes hit the floor. Chug that down because you got a lot of moving parts. A lot of things are going on. The water is like the universal lube. You know what I'm saying? The second time, the second most important time is at night, not while you watching TV or possibly getting into something else, you know what I mean? But when you about to go to sleep for the night, fall into your deep REM sleep. So you want to drink some water to help everything move along. A lot of reads going on, replenishing, rebooting, recharging. It was another one. I can't think of it. Replenishing, rebooting, recharging. I'll think of it. But also you burn about 900 to 1,000. That depends on your genetics. Could be 1,200, could be 800. It could be whatever. But you burn a lot of calories in your sleep. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Um, that's what you want to help, be pushed aside. You're pushing out toxins. That's why, that first bathroom break when you first get up in the morning is a good thing. Get everything started. And drinking water in the morning too. Some of us are on daily regimens of it could be vitamins, it could be necessary medication like blood pressure or whatever. Make sure you do that. We're gonna try to we're gonna try to do it right for the 2022, you know. Um and water is good for cleaning out your system, period. It helps keep your skin tight, oiled up, looking young. People ask for the fountain of youth. It's water. So make sure y'all get y'all water in. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we advocate for 100 ounces of water a day. I'm telling you, when you start drinking water like that, watch how you change. Watch how you see some significant change. And you're going to be surprised. Do it increase your bathroom breaks? Yes, it does. But that doesn't last forever because, like everything with the body, is resilient and it can acclimate to whatever you're doing at the time. So we want to advocate for you to drink your water. Drink up, drink up. Bump the coffee first thing, or the sodas, or the teas. Water, agua. So let's get into it a little bit. So Tim Zoo. Oh, I got me a new light. I'm still trying to work it out. I got my lights that came in yesterday. So Tim Zoo is in line to face the winner of Castano and Charlo. Now he just had a fight this past weekend with Goucher. And I've analyzed and said my assessment of Tim Zoo. And I said, and this is no disrespect to Tim Zoo because I like him as a fighter. I think he fights well. I think he can make some noise, as a boxer, as he should. But Tim Zoo is not ready for prime time. I said it then. I said it this past week. Like when I reviewed this past weekend's fights, I'm gonna say it again. He is not ready for prime time. When Jim Gray asked him the question at the end, I am so pleased with his answer. This is why I like him. The man to me so far seemed like a straight shooter. Jim Gray straight up asked him, "What do you think you have to improve?" Now Jim didn't ask that question just out the blue. But just thinking, what kind of question can I ask this man? Jim Gray had a purpose for asking him. Because Jim Gray saw what a lot of us saw. He ain't ready for prime time. And his answer was, I need to improve on everything. That take a big man to say that, in my opinion. So I want to give props and shout out to Tim Zoo for even saying that. And don't worry, I'm going somewhere with my thumbnail. Like I'm gonna tie it in towards the end. But Tim Zoo said I need to work on everything. And I was saying that's a great answer. Because you most certainly do need to work on everything. Tim Zoo is a plain, as Floyd would say, no special effects, straightforward, come forward fighter. There's so many mistakes that I see that he does that he really do need to work on some things. He's wide with his punches. Anybody with some speed and accuracy and power on that punch will demolish him. To put him in the ring with Jermell Charlo is to me like you you must want him to commit suicide. Not literally, but like, figuratively. Because Jermell Charlo will demolish this dude. There's not a doubt in my mind. Now, I meant to look up today and I didn't, so I apologize. I meant to look up who is Timzu affiliated with. If you guys know that answer, put it in the chat because it'll explain some things. But I noticed lately that they're trying to build him up as a name. They really are. They're trying to build him up, and just make him relevant, and with the hopes of letting him have that shot at those titles or face some top notch competitors. That's what you're supposed to do, right? So I'm not mad at it. Just stating what is going on. He is the WBO mandatory. That's what he has become in the 154 division. He's the WBO mandatory. But like I said, whoever got the WBO belt, I'm not sure no more. Is it Castano? Whether it's Castano or Charlo, he not ready for them. They will demolish him. Maybe he may have a chance with Castano. I don't know, but he ain't got no chance with Jamel Charlo. He really don't. Jamel is too great of a fighter for him to even think he has a chance. And whoever sets that fight up, like immediately or something, you doing so knowing that he's going to lose that fight. And I think Tim Tszyu knows that too. But, as a fighter, you can't dwell on that type of stuff. You got to dare to be great, right? But he's a WBO mandatory. Now, how is his being a WBO mandatory kind of mess up what Earl Spence and Bud Crawford got going on? Well, it kind of. It depends on what these sanctioning bodies want to do and how they trying to move in these boxing streets. It kind of do mess up some things. It's all relevant. I think, like I said, it would be suicide for him to get in front of Jamel. I would even say that about Castano. He's clearly not ready for that fight with either gentleman. Um, there were so many flaws in his game. Even by his own admission, he needs to improve everywhere when asked by Jim Gray. And I just repeated myself, but I want to be clear with that. Because the whole time I'm watching Goucher fight, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Goucher is one of those fighters that has all the tools and the talent in the world, but he is stuck. It's kind of like if you have one of them cars, them old cars, they get stuck in the mud and they keep hitting the gas. You see the tires spinning, but they're not going to move out of there. That's Goucher. Goucher performed well in that first round. Even got a knockdown, a flash knockdown, but a knockdown nonetheless. And he got that knockdown because of the flaws of Tim Tszyu. Not no spectacular anything of Goucher. It's not like Goucher walked him into some, whatever. Goucher, like I said, fundamentally, he's sound. Goucher was in the right position. And, like he throws his punches right. I mean, it's no real bad thing I could say about Goucher, other than the fact he fights timid or scared or hesitant. And I don't mean no disrespect when I say that about Goucher. I don't think I like his attitude. I like how he comports himself. I like how his disposition on his career or how he looks at his career going forward. He's a fighter. He wants to fight. Whatever comes is going to come. He's going to give his all. This, that, and other. And that's I think Goucher fought Tim Tszyu better than most of Tim Tszyu's opponents previously. But Tim Tszyu, with his flaws, walked into that punch. He leans unnecessarily. He don't lean to create an illusion. He leans because that's what he does. He squares up. He's wide with his shots. Even when he do hold his hands up, he's wide. And that's why I say anybody with some speed and accuracy and power on their punches, they got his number. Easily. All Jamel Charlo will ever have to do to a Tim Tszyu is just box him. But he who fights emotionally, to me, loses. It's not always an absolute, but it's pretty much you can take that to the bank. He who fights emotionally loses. Even in real life, he who fights emotionally or argues emotionally loses. And that's a flaw with Jamel. That might not be a flaw with Tim. So, these are some of his attributes. Tim is emotionalist. He's steadfast and focused to the task at hand. And he believes he can win. It's all about his energy. He never comes into the fight like he's down or somebody has the upper hand. He knows what he knows, and he knows he's the goods. He fights like he's the goods. And you can really see that in the Goucher and Tszyu fight, because Goucher was the opposite. He don't know he the good, and he fight like he doesn't know. And he if he gets some kind of leverage or does a solid or do something really well, he don't bring it back. He don't run it back from round to round. You can look at Goucher previous fights and see where he was on his toes, and this is why I know he's a good boxer. But he doesn't do that every time. He's overthinking too much, in my opinion, and he has a lot of hesitation. That doesn't make him a punk or a bitch or anything. He's a great contender, but that's probably all he'll ever be. He might as well reserve himself to being the gatekeeper. Now, he has control over his career and his abilities to perform or whatever. He can always muster or find something if he dig deep and come out of that funk. But, right now, that is the problem with Goucher. Why are we talking about them two? Because they are the prelude to what's going to be coming next after the Brian Castano and Jamel Charlo fight. They just are. That fight was relevant to Charlo's fight. Tim Tszyu and Goucher. Tay is in the building. What's popping, King? Who we talking about? We talking about what's really going to happen when Errol Spence and Bud Crawford move up. But in order to talk about that, Tay, we gotta start from the beginning and work our way down. We gotta see how I connect the dots. Maybe y'all will feel the same. Maybe y'all will feel differently. But y'all get to see how my mind be working. Y'all may agree, y'all might not. But I really think that there's something to this. Okay. So after, regurgitating what I've said about, if y'all think about what I've said about the Tim Tszyu and Goucher fight, and y'all think about the flaws that I said Tim Tszyu has, and then y'all think about the fact that they're really trying to make him relevant. I've never heard so much about this man except in the last 6 months or so. I mean, it's almost like, to me, and I don't know everything in boxing and everybody in boxing, but it's, to me, in the last 6 to 8 months, you heard a lot about this guy Tim Tszyu, as if he was, like, oh, he a force to be reckoned with. And I see him as easily beaten. I see him as that because of how he goes about his business in the ring. Now, his style or his way of doing it is winnable a lot of times. But you're talking about elite fighters in Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano. One thing I can't easily see, now I can see it through his other opponents, but not easily see it through Goucher, is that he must got some stank on his punches. That's probably why he has the energy he has when he enters in that square circle and be boxing. He knows he can hurt you. He knows he can pop you. And he knows just that alone could change the look of a fight. He knows that. But how does that work with somebody like Jamel Charlo? Renee Sorters, we back, baby. Salute to the queen, Miss T. Salute to you too, Ray New. Just how does that work when you know you got that energy about yourself where you know you can hit somebody hard, but when you get in there with somebody who's a better boxer than you and can hit just as hard, how does that work? What does that look like? And that's why I say that Tim Tszyu giving that answer to Jim Gray, "I have to work on everything," was an excellent answer because he really does. Like, I mean, he really got to at this point get a crash course if he's thinking about facing Charlo or Castano. And he's in line. The fight between Tim Tszyu and Goucher was putting somebody in line in that division to face the winner of Charlo and Castano. Because we know after that fight, I don't think they're going to let that shit be a draw. I think in their first fight, talking about Charlo and Castano, I really had Jermell edging. I did. Now, if y'all, some of you guys listening, and you said, Miss T, you don't like the Charlos? What you talking about? Just because I don't like you, that don't mean I can't speak truth about you. The Charlos are a force to be reckoned with. They are excellent fighters. I just don't like their behavior. That's what I don't like. But how they perform in the ring, all for it. All for it. You know, something, just what they be saying, how they act out the ring. You got to really ask yourself, do I really even really want to be bothered? It's a turnoff. But as far as what they do in that ring, let me be the first to give them their props. Okay? Now, if Tim Tszyu were to somehow catch the winner of them two, Castano and Charlo, whichever one they may be, it's going to be an easy fight. It's going to be over before it starts. Because he is no match, in my opinion, for either one. And guess what? Castano squares up a lot too. You know, that's why I can clearly see that Charlo is a better fighter than him. Y'all don't forget to hit the like button. So why is this important to Earl and Bud? I'm gonna get there. Because the reason why I think it's important is because Earl Spence is right now on his third plan. Let me repeat. Earl Spence is right now on his third plan. And some people may quiver with that. And Miss T, what are you talking about? The first plan was Crawford, go get a belt. Don't you got Jeff Horn in your under your stable? Go get that belt from him and then come out, holler at me. Then we could talk. Then it was, I'm cleaning up my side of the street. And he named a couple of people. In those names was nowhere mentioned Ugas. I guess Ugas is an additive. He's an add-on. That's the second plan. Now his plan is, I got 2 more fights. And from what I'm told, that fight with Ugas is one of those fights. I got 2 more fights and I'm moving up. Now Crawford, who hasn't spoke on this, and this is why I say, if anybody have an opportunity to do an interview with him, one can ask. Or if Bernie the Boxer is listening, maybe he could clarify this. What is a reasonable time that Crawford should wait for Earl to make that fight happen before he say fuck it and move up to 154? That's inquiring minds want to know. I want to know that. Because I don't perceive that Crawford wants to sit here and wait to the end of the year. A lot can happen in 6 months. A lot can happen by the time next year rolled around. I don't think he should wait like that. I think Crawford, first and foremost, whatever Crawford decided to do with his career, Boxing Fans Talk TV is with him. I trust his judgment. But if Earl, and I don't say Earl is on the third plan like in a negative way, but I'm sure that people are going to see it that way. So let me clarify. You can have all the plans that you want. He's a grown man. Whatever he decides to do with his career is his business too. And we ain't got no choice but to support it. You know what I'm saying? I will support it to a certain extent because I want to see the Crawford and Earl fight. I want to see that more than anything. I don't know what the final conclusion is going to be, but My spidey senses tell me that Bud is going to win that. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong on this one. So, just my opinion, y'all. It's just my opinion. But Earl, he had those two plans, and now he has a third plan. I got two more fights, and I'm moving up. Crawford plan is, even though Crawford don't never really say he making plans, but his plan is, I'm gonna wait on you to say whatever. Give me the green light. If you're giving me the red light, I'm out. I'm going up to 154. So then my mind get to sitting here thinking, because I know that they trying to big up Tim Tszyu. And you see what they did with Andre going up to 168. Should have had a beeline to Canelo. Yes, it's been explained to me, the extenuating circumstances surrounding that. But I've never heard it like that before. I was always told or thought that if you have the WBO belt at one division and you drop it to move up to the next division, you automatically get a beeline straight to the champion, the WBO champion. In this case with Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo, that person would be undisputed because they fighting for all the belts. So in the case with Canelo and Andre dropped his belt. He should have had a beeline, in my opinion, to Canelo Alvarez. At least that could have forced Canelo Alvarez to have to make a decision whether he wanted to face him or drop his belts. To me, that's fair. If that's what we're doing with WBO, if they changing the rules in midstream, you got to ask yourself why. Why change the rules now? And then you check to see if it's for somebody specific or not. Renew Salter said, Miss T, your live light isn't lit up. I'm glad I checked. Your live. It's not? Oh shit. That I don't understand, you guys. Thank you, Renew. Thank you. And I don't know if that's by design. I don't know why it's so hard. I put in the time that I'm gonna start, and I have it on my scroll. I'm on Monday through Friday from 7:30 to whenever I call it quits. And sometimes I can be a few minutes late. Like today, I was a few minutes late. But that's pretty much my time. And I think it's messing up, because people like, oh man, I missed it, or I didn't know you was on. And I don't know who I must got to write to YouTube and just be like, why are y'all doing this to me? What's the point in writing a thumbnail or creating anything if you're not gonna honor it? Because when I did it, I think it'd be saying shit like 11:50 at night. No, every day, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. And that's just wild. That's just wild. Salute. PGH Big Dog is in the building. He said salute Queen T. Salute to you too, sir. PGA said Bud better not duck the big fish this time. I'll go ahead on with that, PGH. You mean Arrow? You mean your boy Arrow? I'm actually gonna go look to see why my shit can't be straight. Why it doesn't light up like that. That's unfortunate, huh? I don't know why it does that. Let me see. I'm gonna get back to it in a minute, y'all. In a second, let me just check. Cause they doing me wrong. They doing a sister wrong. There we go. I'm looking, you guys. It said live now. Now it says it. I don't know. YouTube, Al Heyman, stop fucking with me. Can you let me be me? Am I Whitney Houston voice? Thank you, Renew, though. Thank you for alerting me to that. I'm going to actually write them a letter because they do this every day. PGH, he said, oh, I read all that. See, yeah, and it does something weird over here in my studio. So that, like I said, is relevant because Earl's on his third plan. Bud is on his plan. If you want to call it a third plan of Bud, or a second, or a fifth, or sixth, I'm not gonna argue with you. I ain't gonna debate you on that one. It's to y'all can see how you see it. Earl got three plans, and he just recently came up with this third plan. So here's the thing: if Earl feel like he got two fights left, and Ugas is one of those fights, and Earl, because who else he gonna fight other than Crawford, who's gonna give him competition? It don't matter who he fight. I got Earl winning. Maybe Boots will be a challenge, but I still got Earl winning. Um, he can easily knock out another fight, drop them belts and go up there or whatever. Now, according to the rules, just because you have three belts don't make you automatically in line to face a champion. The only sanctioning body belt that has that in their provision is the WBO. If you're WBO and that's the only belt you got, or that's one of many belts you have, you could drop that, move up to the next weight class, and get head of the line privileges, and so to speak. That's what you pretty much can do with the WBO. WBC don't have that. WBA don't have that. IBF don't have that. But considering if Earl beats Ugas and he's a three belt champion, I'm sure they're gonna make way for him, or they're gonna give him some kind of latitude to do just that. Some kind of way he's gonna catch favor. It is what it is. I'm not saying it like it's a crime of the century. I'm just saying that it's some kind of way it could happen like that. PGH Big Dog say, Bud blame Aaron, black fight fans, Spence, everyone but himself. Make the fight with the winner, Bud. No excuses for Bud, none. PGH, I have to quiver with that. Bud blamed Aaron for what he blamed Aaron for, and he has a case. We can't really say he don't. He has a case, and he knew he had a case. So, to anybody, whether it's boxing or anything in your life, when you have a legitimate case, you should pursue things that is when things have not been done right for you. I don't agree that he blames the black fight fans. I don't see that. I don't see how he does that. I think if he has anything negative to say about black people, it's the same black people that had a lot of negative to say about him. So, it's almost that, how people say PGH, how a lot of us women be like, why must these rappers always bitch this, that, and other? You're bringing up a culture of young men who ain't even born yet, born into the culture, who's going to refer to all women as bitches. This is how they're going to see them. And when you refer to women like that comes with a treatment or a feeling of less than or value that you perceive these women to have compared to yourself. But somebody smart said one time, it's not it's not what people call you, it's what you answer to. So, if people can say bitch all in the raps, I don't ever take it personal. Now all the time, I don't like it because I raised a daughter. I don't like it. I have sisters, nieces, but I'm not a bitch. So you cannot be talking about me. I'm a bitch in the way I want to be a bitch, but I'm not a bitch in the way they put it in that song. So when it comes to you said black fight fans, he was talking to those black fight fans who were so negative to him, and they were unreasonably negative. He wasn't talking to people like me who are black and who is a fight fan. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to them. He do blame Spence because Spence, if he blames Spence, that's all he could do is talk about it. When he got in that ocean and said what he said, a lot of people blame Bud because he didn't speak up like that, and then when he did, they still blamed him. It wasn't good enough. Spence move funny. Spence say a lot of things that he don't keep true, and a lot of times Spence fans cater for him and cake for him. They do. I mean, if it was happening with Bud, I would say it was. I mean, I know that's easily said than done, and I'll leave it to you guys to be the judge if you think that that's how it would be. But I know myself, and I know if that was Bud, I would say. But No, Spence fans have been very unfair to Bud, and they don't like him. They coming around a little. Some of them are not as bad. Y'all see ATL on the show with me all the time. He's a total straight up Spence fan. Or Birdman, total Bird. He's a total Spence fan. We get along famously, but that's not every Spence fan. I don't expect that from every Spence fan. I could be the biggest Bud fan ever, and I am. Doesn't make me dislike nobody else. I could break bread with whoever else. I judge you by your content of your character, not who you like and what you believe in. Now if you believe in killing and criminality, I can't be your friend because that's not what I'm about. Birds of a feather flock together. You know, I live by a lot of those old school cliches, if y'all haven't noticed. I do, because I grew up with listening to them all the time. And so that's my calculus in life. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I don't think that Spence has been totally honest. I think he moves weird, in the sense that uh he to me, you know what, I'm gonna say it like this. To me, Spence made famous that phrase, keep that same energy. I don't know who started it, but from where I'm sitting, I give him the props of that phrase. And you see how big and powerful that phrase is across the world, with everybody from the highest of the highest to the lowest of the lowest ranking people in whatever kind of ranking status you want to put them in. People love to say keep that same energy. And the first person I heard it and said to say it and say it effectively and say it often was Earl Spence. That's where I heard it from. And I'm a worldly person, but that's where I heard it from. And to see him devolve, the devolution of it all, in a way that he's not keeping that same energy, that gave me pause. It made me have to rethink some things. But mainly why I don't think Spence is at the level that people say he is or as good as he is got a lot to do with his boxing skills and ability. Nothing to do with him per se personally. And the reason why I could pick a Bud has more to do with what he could do in that ring, his boxing IQ, his boxing ability, more so than anything personally. If you guys believe it, you can believe it, and you don't have to believe it. But I tell you no lies. PGA said, "Did you hear the interview he did? The UK with that sellout Raheem. He said it was the fans. No, I heard it, and I heard it in this context. And I would implore you guys to go somewhere and sit down and listen to it, and turn everything else off. Clear your mind before you listen to it, and really listen to it. This man did not just. You guys look at it like he gave more props to the UK. I don't how. Lennox Lewis was gracious and gratified with American fans because we bigged him up big time. And American fans are a combination of diverse cultures and people. So nobody charged Lennox up. We understood it when Lennox said it, but we can't understand it when somebody say that about another country that has kind of the same makeup as ours. Europe is a melting pot, or England, the UK, is a melting pot just like America is. But the narrative was he was bigging up white folks or putting the white folks above his black fans. And I don't know how that can be because there's more white people here in America. So anybody who bigs up America says, shout out to my American fans and all that. Just take it as simple as that. American fans. That's a combination of everybody. That's not saying shout out to my white only American fans. Just like I would implore you guys not to view it like shout outs to my UK white fans, because they just as much as a melting pot as we are. And of course, in the UK, there's going to be more white people than blacks, just like it is here in America. Y'all be on Raheem Radio Raheem. PGH said I can send it to you. You can. I saw it. I did see it. PGH. But do send it to me because you send it to me, I will watch it again. Captain Full G is in the building. What's popping, King? Salute, Queen. PGA said, Bud moves funny. He kept signing with Bob Arum despite not getting him big fights. I have to ask you, PGH, how does that hurt you as a fan? How does that hurt anybody? What a man decide to do for his career or his business? I have to ask that, PGH, and I ask that respectfully. How does that hurt you? And matter of fact, this question is to everybody who's listening. How does that hurt you? What a person decide, like, I have family members who felt like, why would you join the military? Y'all want to tell me a little story break? Craziest shit I've ever heard, and I've had to live with this. When I was a young pup, leaving behind my mama's skirt, getting out there in the world. In the beginning, I bought into what my family members said, the people around me saying, I was going to join the Marines first. I let the guy tell me that I was just like exercising or like the Jane Fonda workouts and shit, which I used to do a lot when I was a teenager. That's what he said for girls. That's what it'd be because I knew the Marines on the front lines, and at the time I was like, well, what us girls gonna do? Because at that time, believe it or not, y'all, we didn't go to no front lines. Women didn't. So he was like, oh no, you're gonna do some like Jane Fonda type calisthenics exercise, whatever. I was like, oh, that ain't shit. And but I think everybody in the Marines look good in their uniform. They just do, especially when you're fresh in the Marines. So I used to go and work out with them and this, that, and the other. Then I got hip to the game. When you join the Marines and you're in the delayed program, you have to work out with them every weekend. It's not up for discussion, and they work your ass out. And so sometimes, the young folks will come back who's already been through boot camp and everything. They'll come back and they of course touch base with the local recruiting station. They come out that weekend and work out with you and everything. So I had an opportunity to meet some young ladies, black women at that. And guess what? First of all, let me just say, Maceo Golden is in the building. What's up, King? So I had the opportunity to ask some more in-depth questions, and they was like, "Oh no, who told you that shit? But you gonna toe the line like everybody else?" So I was like, "Oh, oh," like Chris Rock, "Oh." And so, but I still was determined because I could run. I could, I was physically fit back then. So then I kept getting grief from it. Grief. Why would you, as a black woman, go into this white man's military? They don't give a fuck about us. Da, 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 da. I'm hearing it from family. I'm hearing it from people on the street. I'm hearing it from my peers. Made you want to think because by that time at 18 or whatever, you do experience some bullshit when being black in America. So I'm putting a little validity to it. So now I'm kind of like backing off and like, nah, you know what, fuck them, and stuff. So then I fell back on it and I went to Job Corps. Yes, I did graduate high school on time. I was actually 17 when I graduated. And so I went to Job Corps in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Job Corps in Pittsburgh. And they had a college program as well as what they normally do, where they help you get your GED and the trade. And so I went up there for the college program. While I'm up there, fresh from my mama's skirt, I meet a guy. I'm lucky I ain't come back with a baby. Shit. But I meet a guy and I'm just all over the place hanging out with this guy, just so in love, batting my eyes and all that. Losing focus, that easy. And at one time, for whatever reason, I knew that I just couldn't, my heart wasn't in it. For whatever reason, making straight A's, heart wasn't in it. And so one day on my way home, back to the compound, at the bottom of the hill of that compound was a recruiting station. So I went in there and I was like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I knew that I don't like sleeping outside and all that roughing and shit. So I was like, I better go in the Navy. So I, try to sign up, go in the Navy. Long story short, I joined the Navy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, even though I'm from Richmond, Virginia. And when I was about to leave, I wound up leaving from Richmond to go to boot camp. But when I was about to leave, Oh Lord, you should have heard what people had to say to me. And they had no filter, no chill, no nothing. Ah, that ain't a place for black people. If you I done heard that before. So I'm like, okay, I'm going through this. The part that fucked me up is only dykes want to go to the military. I was like, they do? Y'all gotta understand, and anybody in the LGBT community listening, this is not no kind of hit against you. Y'all gotta understand that's I'm a different generation. In my generation, that shit it wasn't always acceptable and cool. Period. So if you are a female and you're doing something that they deem that only those folks do, you're gonna catch hell for that. But in my mind, even though I've never been in the military, never lived near a base, I didn't think that shit was true. So I was like, fuck that. What am I doing here? I'm not doing that. I have no money to go to college. We were poor as hell. What am I gonna do? So I left. And let me tell y'all, first of all, that shit ain't true. I'm not. Second of all, I had the best time in my life. I had some bad times and I went through some shit as you would just even if I didn't go in the military. But oh my God, I'll be telling my grandchildren about the times that I had in this thing called the United States Navy. So I'm gonna tell you, not only did I have a good time, I had my fair share of boyfriends. I had a good ass time. And I've been around the world and I partied with some of the best. Okay? In all kinds of clubs. I partied with models, European models, when I lived in Europe. Okay, so I'm like, I don't get why people say what they say. You know what I'm saying? And why they group things into what they group things in. And, I had to catch myself because I could go on a tangent. I start reminiscing and shit. And then y'all gonna be like, what? So I got to catch myself. But when people say certain things and you listening and you take shit out of context, okay? I had, sometimes you got to hear, you got to wade through some ignorant shit. And sometimes you just got to keep things in context. That's important because what you were saying, PGH, about Bud saying what he said, if you keep it in context, he did not say nothing negative. He did not say nothing to make any of us Americans feel a certain kind of way. There's no fucking way he said that. If European fans showed him love and respect, is it plausible, just plausible, that compared to what these American fans have shown, or so-called fans, showed him, isn't that better? You really gonna say that in these YouTube streets that people show Bud respect and love? You really gonna say that you can look at this whole situation and say to yourself, if you was him, that he would sit there and have listened to all that was said about him and get a warm and fuzzy feel? Do you think that is fair for him to be judged by a choice that's his and his alone to make, for people to be upset about him? And how I correlated my military story to this was my family, some of my family who said that it wasn't a place for a woman, they didn't want me to go in. They didn't want me to go in. They swear it was going to be a bad thing. I made more money than them. They loved the gifts that I sent. They were so anti-Navy, but they weren't anti what I did, which was because of the Navy. That's when I saw the hypocrisy. I was like, whoa, so the Navy ain't for women, it's for dykes, right? Well, when I spend this fucking money, I see you don't have a problem with this not for women type Navy money. You ain't got a problem with that, do you? That's what I had to face, PGH. That's probably why I tend to look at things differently. I understand that a lot of people feel the way you feel, and PGH is not the only one who feels that. A lot of folks feel this way, and that's how their calculus of how they judge it, and I respect their opinion fully. That's my brother right there. That's my king, PGH, you know. So, but I have to explain it more thoroughly because this is why I could never agree with that. I can't agree with that because we're going to be mad at his decision to sign with somebody. We wasn't mad at Wilder's decision. We're not mad right now at Devin Haney's decision. This is why you gotta like sit down and actually ask yourself, are you being biased or unbiased? It doesn't have a lot to do with you liking him as your favorite fighter or not. A lot of people like Bud, and I saw this too, PGH. A lot of people like Bud before he came into the welterweight division. It's only when it was understood that he was going to be in opposition with Earl Spence did it become what it is today. I cannot be mad at him for making a career decision, whether it's good for him or not. And yeah, a lot of people will have an opinion and say, don't do it, Bud. But really, who he should listen to? Him or should he listen to us? And 9 times out of 10 is him. Who should I have listened to? My family that said it wasn't for women or the only dykes go there and all this bad shit? Or should I have listened to myself? Had I listened to them, I wouldn't be sitting here where I'm at right now. I make enough money without even working. I don't even work, y'all. Haven't worked since 2012. Yet I live in a 3,000 square foot house that has been only mine, brand new, that I bought brand new. I'm living good. 2 brand new cars in the driveway. I'm doing good. And I haven't worked since 2012. April 5th to be exact. I've substitute teach, stuff like that. But I've been held down no real job since then. But if I'd have listened to my family, you think I'd be sitting there at this point? When I retired, I think I was 40 years old. Who could say that at 40? I will never have to work again a day in my life. But had I listened to them, because of how the narrative they want to put it and how they saw that it was bad, but they weren't looking at what I needed and what it was good for me. They weren't looking at that. And a lot of times I think in this climate that we find ourselves in, a lot of people feel that way about Bud. They're not looking at it for what it meant to him because it's his decision and his alone. So I don't understand anyone being mad at him signing with Bob Arum. We could say, don't do that shit. And we could say, I told you so. And we could say, if you cry about it, we don't give a fuck. He's not crying. He's suing him. He's actually doing something tangible. He's suing him. He could sit there and come on all these social medias and whine and cry about it, but he's not doing that. He's actually suing them for the wrong that Bob Arum did. But we can all sit here, and I'm with you guys. I'm probably one of you guys. I told you don't fuck with Bob because I said it too. I didn't want him to sign with him. You know, not getting him the big fights like Pac and Trash and Bud for not promoting. Bob is just he can get beside himself. Yeah, Bob is just a terrible person, at times. Bob is also in his 90s, and I just have this belief once you get in your 90s, hey, look, ain't nothing to say to nobody that's in their 90s, really. You can hold them accountable like Bud is doing, but ain't no sense in like beating the person down trying to match wit with them and tit for tat. They 90. We should all be so lucky and blessed to make it to that age. That's just how I be seeing it. And I know people want him to put fire to Bob's ass, but he's 90. So sometimes you respect the age and you can't respect the person. You know, sometimes you got to respect the age and not the person. Or in the military, as we say, respect the rank and not the person. It be like that sometimes. And then he sues Aaron. Stop the Bud. Stop the cap. Bud does terrible business. That may be true, but in the grand scheme of things, did he? He became a millionaire. He made more money than your boy Errol Spence and any other welterweight. Guarantee fights, guarantee pays. So did he do bad business? Bob Arum paid off that first contract he had. That was terrible. That was a terrible one, and so that's probably why he signed with him the first way. So did he do bad in the long scheme of things? D Young is in the building. Let me get through some of these chats, King. Maceo Golden, I already said what's up to you, King. Say hello, Queen. What's cooking? You hear me cooking over here? Maceo said how Bud does terrible business when he was the highest paid welterweight when he was with Bob. That's a factor. Jay Gibson says, salute to Miss T and the fam. Salute to you, King. Up to the building. PGH Big Dog is shouting out Jay Gibson. Salute the fam. PGA said, I'm thinking you saying I don't care who they sign with, but I have a problem with white men comparing black to me. Black me? White men comparing black men, I guess, to property, and Bud saying Aram got a good heart. PGH, a lot of us been there. This is why I totally get what you're saying, but a lot of us been there. But here's the thing: you gotta know when to hold them and fold them and walk away and run. Okay, it doesn't matter what people say you are; it's what you answer to. Period. Bob is an old, wrinkled ass, dusty ass, lying ass, whatever. He's gonna have a lot of regrets the closer and closer he gets to meeting his maker. Bud don't have no regrets on his shoulders. Do any of us know how I feel? I kind of do. I ain't gonna say 100%, but do any of us know how I feel to not have to look over your shoulder or have regrets on your back? Everything I do, I try to be strategic and on purpose with it. I'm not the best. I'm not perfect. None of us are. I already know that. So, but I don't have no fucking regrets. None. Because I don't wake up with malicious thoughts and nefarious ideas on how to fuck somebody over. I am a people person, and I like to wake up. I like to be a help more than I will be a hindrance or a burden. That matters to me. So, in my quest to being that person, I would do a lot more good than bad. Bud is not going to change Bob. Bob got a head start. He's in his 90s. Bud is in his 30s. You know, he has a head start. I'm what, 60-something years older than him. You ain't gonna change that man. This is why it wouldn't matter if Bob came out and called everybody niggas or whatever on his death. I wouldn't care. Because he is who he is. Once he got in his 90s, he got a reprieve from me. I know that might not make sense to people, but as long as it makes sense to me, you cannot change people like that. This is something they're gonna have to take up with God. You're gonna have to trust that God is gonna handle that. Will Smith needed to slap him for saying that BS SMH. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that on Grown Woman Talk because a lot of people don't believe he should have did it. I'm with you, PGH, on that one. Because guess what? We didn't even think about the fact that during G.I. Jane, what's her name was doing something detrimental too to her spouse. I don't know what kind of marriage they had, but Bruce Willis, remember he was a notable big Hollywood paid actor, and she cheated on him with a young man, and they stayed together for a minute. And I know a lot of people was giving her the side eye, even women. Like, girl, what you gonna do with this little boy? This boy ain't that much older than your kids. You see the correlation with Jada? What was Chris really saying? Maybe Will didn't pick that up because I think Will had that stock laugh, like, ha, ha, ha. I'm just gonna laugh at everything because that's what you do in those situations. But with that look in Jada eyes said it all, and he probably caught on and was like, nigga, wait a minute. so I agree with you on that last part, PGH. And you said don't not get it. D-Town Blaster is in the building. What's popping, King? Exponentially more money, Miss T. Yes, he did. He made more money, PGH. How you feeling, gorgeous? I'm feeling fabulous. Fabulous. PGH, PGH Big Dog salute. Jay Gibson telling you to salute. But PGH, I hope that explains what I was saying. Like, we can't sit up here and be mad at a man for making a business choice. You know what I'm saying? Because look what happened to him in the end. It actually worked for him in the long run. He didn't get everything. Nothing is perfect. I have a lot of flaws that in myself and things that happened to me in the military. I didn't get to my highest potential in the military because of purposely folks doing wrong to me and me doing wrong to me. But overall, look how I'm living. You guys are famous for saying, "Hey, Miss T, you look young." I'm gonna blame it on our genetics in my family because a lot of us had that young gene look. We had the young gene. I'm gonna just say that, but we had that young look, younger than what we are. But staying young looking got a lot to do with stress too. And from the age of 40 until God calls me home, I ain't got to deal with no stress. That's why I took a break from politics. No matter who you put in the White House, T is going to do excellent. I made a choice where I fare better no matter what they do. You can have Republicans, you can have Democrats. I'm winning with either side. You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about medical. I can go to any hospital in the world. Ain't no cap on me. Most people in America are a medical bill paycheck away from being homeless. That's a fact. Not T. And I stand on that shit. But if I'd have listened to those naysayers, because what they want to say was bad, you can't live your life for you, for other folks. You got to live it for you. Bud can't make his life decisions based on you guys. He has to do it for himself. And if anybody mad because he don't go to nobody's show, listen, Lord, I would love for that man to come up on here. I met him twice. I'm like, Bud, if you're listening, please reach out. My email is at the bottom. Come be a guest on my show. I swear I treat you right. This is Bud Country over here. But I will never be upset if this man never do it. Because he don't owe me shit. And it's got, you got to have some kind of arrogance about you that make you think that he owe you to either listen to you or come on your show or, do what you want him to do. Where that kind of arrogance come from? I call it nerves of steel. Like, are you serious? If you sit there and think about it, who in the world can put that kind of demand on you? Just turn to yourself and say, who can make me come to their shit if I don't want to come? Who can tell me what business decision to make if I got my own mind? Or who to fuck with and who not to fuck with? Come on. That's some kind of arrogance. Some sense of entitlement. Shit right there. And I have to repel against all that type shit. I can't, because that don't make sense to me at all. But getting back to what I was talking about, and just to refresh and catch up, Tim Zoo is in line to be the WBO mandatory. Thank y'all for listening to my little story break or whatever. Oh, D Young, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me give you a chance.
Salute, 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 Queen. You doing your shit, man. I done had a long day. I'm just listening to you, baby. It's all good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. What you want to pop off? Because I ain't seen you in a minute. So you
Man,
might have
yeah.
something to say in the last couple of days. What's good?
Oh, nothing much, man. I heard you talk about the Tim Zoo fight. I actually got to watch that Saturday. It was definitely nice little fight. I just think Cachet didn't do enough, man. He got that knockdown. He didn't press on the gas, but nonetheless, Tim got a little flaws, but nonetheless, though, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with at that 154 pounds. So
See,
I'm definitely ready to see that, and I'm definitely ready to see what's gonna happen after May 14th to see which whether Charlo or Castano drop the belt. That
mhm,
might put him in line to get that WBO. But we just got to go in sequential order, see what happened after April 16th. And we move on from there. I mean, I've definitely been hearing the rumors about Bud signing with the PBC. So, I hope that's true, so there ain't no more excuses. We can get you can get actually get what we want. But yeah, but about people saying that he made a bad decision with Bob Arum and Bo Mack is a bad manager. I mean, shit, Bo Mack got this man the biggest guarantee in the welterweight division. You know what I mean? So how was it bad business? You know what I mean? If anything, we can look on that side, on the other side of the street. These niggas getting 1 million guarantees and having to force and having to promote themselves to get back in money. Which I think is ass backwards. You know what I mean? So I mean,
sure.
I just hate that we didn't after all these years, 4+ fucking years, we still talking about money, man. You know what I mean? Fuck that. We ain't getting paid off these guys. So why does it matter to us? You know what I mean? And that's just the thing that's just really just stirring the fucking pot. Oh, he should take this and he should take that. How the fuck you gonna tell a grown man who's top at his craft to take less money to a nigga who just rubbing two belts together? Like Miss T, I drive trucks. So let's just say, and I've been driving trucks for like 5 years. Let's just say a newcomer come. He just got out of school. He just
Mhm.
got out of school and he's making way more than me. How would that make me feel? But I wouldn't know if the nigga wouldn't say anything. But still, no, how would that make me feel? Like, hold up, I've been in this business longer than you. So how you gonna come in here and just be like, oh, you making more than me? That don't make sense. But nonetheless, I don't really be on that money shit. I just want to see the fight. That's just what it is. We instead of talking about money with Crawford and Spence, let's talk about these niggas' skill set. And a lot of these cats can't even describe the nigga Earl Spence skill set. I can. He's definitely a pressure fighter. He comes forward. What he sets up is he sets up that right jab for everything. And there's nothing wrong with that. But with Bud Crawford is other dimensions, is moving lateral, getting leverage off moving to have punching power and punching placement. You know what I mean? Most of these guys probably wouldn't even know what a fucking full counter is. So you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's just my thing. I'm tired of talking about the money shit, man. Let's just let everything play out. We got 3 weeks left. We got 3 weeks left until we get the Spence Ugas fight, which that's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a
Hey,
technical
boo.
fight.
Hey, boo boo. What's up? We got man dance. ATL, that's what I affectionately call
Man,
it.
Dan, shout it.
Hold on, make sure you turn your stuff down in the back. But we got new media today, USA Boxing in the building. What's popping, King? What's
Salute,
popping,
new
King?
media
I got a
today.
chance to check you out, new media. I like you. I love your voice. Love
D,
your
what the
voice.
hell you talking about, D? I heard some Spence shit in
Talking
the
about
end.
the bullshit that I'm just hold
Yeah,
on.
you already know. You already know what I be on, bro.
Hold
Hey,
Niggas talking this money shit, man.
throw
I'm just ready
me
to
in.
see the fight.
Look, everybody hit that like button, please. Everybody hit that like button. Me and PJs, that's my bro, right? That's one of my kings. All of you guys are my kings. And like I told y'all get the king status. I'm one of them people, I'm gonna give you your flowers straight up. You can take them away, but I'm gonna give them to you straight up. So PGH, he one of my kings. And so
PGA,
it's
hey, that's the fam. I fuck with PGA. Hey, that's the fam.
it's
Big
some
dog.
things that you guys gonna say I just don't agree with, and one of those things is, admonishing a person because of a business choice that they make when it's theirs to make it. You might not like it, And I gave the example when I came into the military, what people were saying to me, but look where I'm at. From 40 years old until God calls me home, I ain't got to work another day in my life. Am
That's
I living?
what's up.
Am I living in a crap place? Nope. I got 3,000 square feet over here. I'm on a half an acre. I got two
That's
ranch
what's up,
drives
Miss
in
T.
the driveway. If I
I'm
wanted to
proud of
be
you, baby.
a
I'm proud of you.
thank I
You know what I'm
just
saying?
paid
If ain't
off my
nobody else told you, I'm fucking proud of you. Fuck
thank
that.
you, thank you. I just paid off my car. If I want to go get another car,
Proud
I
of
can
you,
go
bro.
get one. I could go get one easily. Because I've had about 12 in my life. In my bank, I call them and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to get a new car. They just give it to me. Now, I'm not trying to be braggadocious, even though I was braggadocious just now.
Yeah, me too.
She just
I'm
moving
trying
up
to
in
get
the
on. I'm trying
world.
to
You
get
know
on
what
your level, man. Shit. I'm
But
trying to
hey,
be living good like that when I'm 40.
you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying?
But listen, y'all know how old I am. I ain't 40 no more, so I don't even want to fake the funk. I'm 50 in this
I
mother.
don't know how old you are, but you ain't old, you wise. Remember that.
Hey, you young as you feel. I'm 50, but
If you make it to your age, I made it
yeah,
to my age. Hey, that's wisdom.
and that's what I appreciate about getting older is
I
getting
got a lot of friends that ain't here right now that didn't get a chance to make it nowhere near this age. So I'm
it's
blessed and I'm thankful for every day I'm still on this fucking earth.
especially when we all know that as you get older, you get medical issues, and I have my fair share. So I'm happy and I'm pleased, and I pray to God every year.
Hey,
Thank you for
you
letting me
know
see
me
it
too.
over
But look, I just had my neck slit.
Oh yeah, me too. We got scars on our
Yeah.
neck. We got matching
Yeah.
scars.
I just had C4 through C6 surgery in October.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did say that. Make sure you bone up and get healthy and eat right. Drink your
Good.
water. Drink your
Finna get
water.
back in the ring on their ass after my birthday.
Drink your water.
Y'all gonna see me on Street Beefs? I'm gonna post my shit, tune in. I'm gonna whoop somebody's ass.
I don't just be whooping ass, just be whooping it. But D
Yeah.
Young, I agree totally with you say, PGA. Some things we agree on, some things not. But again, we can't be upset with somebody. That cannot be something that makes somebody upset. As far as this UK stuff, because PGH was pointing out that Bud seemed like he dissed the black fans and big up the UK fans. When you say the word UK, you might as well say America too, because
Nah,
they,
blood don't
they,
be dissing
they
no black
have
man.
they have as a diverse culture. In fact,
I ain't gonna sit on Bud like that.
sometimes I think their culture is more diverse because they got a plenty groups of people, types of people over there in the UK that we just don't even have over here.
The
So
UK just love their fighters.
And boxing is just big over there, man. It's just they
They love their fighters, man.
boxing ain't dead in the UK. You know what I mean?
And
You
we
can
need
just
to
see
we
it.
need to do our fighters the same way.
Shit, yeah, it's the division ATL. It's the division. You know what I mean? It's the division on.
Miss T, in my line, you know I love all fighters. Even though you got your fighter, I got mine. I still tell you every time we on here, I love all my black fighters, man. All of them.
Yeah, but
yeah,
hey,
I have
ATL,
my picks, but I love
but
them all
the
equally.
thing the thing of it is, yeah, you're a boxing fan, and it's just you got a lot of fanboys and fanagers. The reason why shit is getting divided.
Yeah.
You a fan of boxing? Yeah, I fuck with Spence. I just think Crawford gonna beat him, but I fuck with him because he a black guy from the South, and I'm from the South. That's why I like the nigga. But you know what I mean? It's just
And that's
when you
what's
get
up.
this, when you get these guys of I don't like Bud Crawford because he signed with Top Rank. What the fuck? Come on, man. Muhammad Ali was with Bob Arum. Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about, man? Like, that's just the
That's
ignorant
like
shit.
motherfuckers out here claiming streets that don't even belong to them.
Come
Somebody just
on,
they hood
man.
and all that shit. Like, nah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's just until we get to that point of all right, let's not get too cashed in with the fighters and hate these niggas because of a promotional company or because he with this
Exactly.
guy and he with that guy. Nah, man, we love the sport, bruh. And until we could just get topics on loving the sport and loving what these niggas do in the ring, their craft, and forget about all this or who he signed with or what he getting. This shit, boxing in America could be great again. Y'all
Great.
see, y'all seen how fast Dillian White and Tyson Fury sold out in the UK. 3 hours,
yeah.
three
But
hours
they
in a
don't
stadium
charge
that
next to nothing though. But go
But
ahead,
that's
Kevin.
because that's the UK and the UK fuck with both of them. So of course in the
that
UK that
but
shit gonna be big.
that's what I'm saying though.
That shit
ATL
wouldn't sell out here.
no, it wouldn't because we don't have the casual fans wouldn't even know them
We don't
niggas.
even give a fuck about that fight.
You know exactly, but
Only
Straight
thing
up.
just
we want to know is where the belt located.
that's
Exactly.
it.
At the end of
That's
it,
it.
we just want to know where the belt is located.
Where's
That's
the
it.
belt at?
But for that fight to
And it
sell
won't
out
be with
within
Shrek.
yeah. But for that fight to sell out 3 hours over there in Wembley Stadium, man, that shit crazy.
Tyson Fury gonna whoop Dillian White ass, man.
I don't doubt it.
I'm talking
I
about
don't
he gonna
doubt
whoop
it.
him bad too. Cause he got boxing skills and he knocked the motherfucking king out the last time. Even though they cheated him with the count, he didn't cheat and he fought the last fight. That's the only thing I could say about Tyson Fury. Even though he lost, he still they banged it out, and I don't see
But
Dillian White banging it out with Tyson Fury like that.
but man, it's the heavyweight division, man. So anything can happen. Anything can
They
happen in that
both
heavyweight
cheaters.
division.
That's how I look at it. They both cheaters. Have at it. But let me
Hey,
cook a
I'm
little
gonna
bit.
tell you my personal vendetta about this fight. I don't fucking like Dillian White at all
Don't
because
like
he been
Taco
riding the king nuts for years. So I
Taco
don't even like Tyson Fury, but I want Tyson Fury to whoop Dillian White ass, bro. Like straight up.
I don't like taco meat neither, but like I said, I don't give a damn about either one of them. But kudos, good luck to them. I want to cook a little bit because I was going somewhere when I said what is really going to happen to Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. And I was talking about Tim Tszyu and the Gaucher fight and what that meant for their fight. The winner of their fight will be definitely in line, a WBO mandatory, I think, for whoever has that belt. We know that on May 14th, Jamel Charlo and Castano is going to face each other.
Miss
And
T, hold on. Before
what
you get deep into that, right? I want to ask you a question, right?
was that?
Because I've been hearing it all day. I just got off work. I've been hearing it all day long.
What's that?
I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if you heard it. But what the hell is going on with I've been hearing Camboso ain't signing the fight with Devin Haney.
Well, he because it's a statement that he made, and all he made when somebody asked him a direct question. I can't regurgitate what the actual question was, but it was something to the effect where he felt like he needed to answer. Well, I don't know yet because I haven't looked into I ain't got into the deep weeds of the contract. And once you say that, that tells anybody that you didn't sign the contract. So it's not that he's not going to sign it. It's like he's going over it with a fine tooth comb.
Going over it for what when Devin took the low ball, everything.
But we all know Cambosa.
What is it to go over?
He's a lying ass bitch. So it's like you can't try to explain the liar. It's not.
So is
that
the true definition of ducking right now?
But once he face another opponent, then that's what we can say. Or once
I'm just saying Devin done accepted everything that they threw at him.
We're gonna talk about
this
Devin.
Point.
We're gonna talk about Devin because I got some questions about that whole situation. But to me, I will say, for years, I never threw out the word duck so liberally. But once I got into these YouTube streets, I see that it's so casually thrown out to the point that when in Rome, do as Romans. And that's how I've become to a little bit. But I have my standards of what I would call ducking. But all I can say is right now, the Cambosos led people to believe that he hasn't finished reading the contract all the way. And that tells anybody you ain't signing yet. So this is all assumptions because you could be like, I'm still reading the contract, but have already signed it. But common sense would tell you if somebody
came up with the contract. So what does he need to read?
But you have to read still because you don't know if somebody adds something. You have to do your due diligence. You do have to do that. But what takes?
But then you hear the same thing. You heard the same thing I heard, right? Like both fights in Australia. Devin getting 2.5 million. Camboso getting 10. And he got to fight Lomachenko. And this is for all three fights. It ain't just for one.
Right. We're gonna get into ATL. I'm gonna give you the floor on that, but let me finish getting my first.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. That's good because you reminded me that we gotta get into that. So the reason why I bridged Tim Tszyu and Gaucher fight together, and I say what is really going to happen to Terrence and them, because as I said the other day, Earl Spence is on his third plan. His third plan being, I'm gonna do 2 fights and then I'm moving up. Well, Terrence is like, if you don't holler at me, I'm gone too. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gone. Terrence said it first. It don't matter who said it first, but Terrence had been said, if you don't fight me, I'm not sticking around for that shit. I'm moving up. So
hold
up. Let me get it out.
Spence been said that.
No.
Spence been said that.
let me say
Spence said if Crawford don't take this fight, that he's moving up.
But
Crawford didn't say that first now.
You know, I just
Crawford didn't say it first, Miss T. I ain't gonna tell
hold
you no
on,
lie.
hold on. Let me get it out, and then you can rebut. Let me get it out. Crawford said, in my opinion, before Spence, it really don't matter who said it first, but he said, if
my fault.
Dude, he said,
my fault.
Okay, if he don't give me the fight, I'm not waiting around. I'm moving up. Crawford has been said this now. Now, Spence's third plan, I have gleaned in the last 1 or 2. I'm gonna do 2 fights and then I'm moving up. So in my head, I was like, man, they gonna bottleneck. Here comes some more shit. Cause who they gonna favor? Now, recently, I gotta put you on mute. Recently, what's his name has become the super champion, the WBO super champion. I was like, why they do that? But also, it's always been the case if you was a WBO champion in one division, if you wanted to move up, you can pretty much get a beeline to straight to the champion, the WBO champion in the next division. Now, it's some fiddle daddle that went down with Canelo and Andre moving up. I don't understand it completely. I know somebody told me, I think somebody from E-Thriller Show told me or explained, it might have been Detail. Detail, was that you? Explain why why that didn't happen like this, some extenuating circumstances. But to me, that was caking for Canelo. It is what it is. Because when the WBO, you don't have to have all the belts to challenge the WBO in the next weight division. Now, Spence got the WBA, WBC, IBF. Him having, well, he may have the WBA. I ain't gonna count the chickens before they hatch. I did say I had Spence edged out.
You said it right. You said it right.
But if Spence have all 3 of those belts, that does not make him in line or get a beeline to no champion because they don't have such provisions. So, but are they gonna cake for him? Probably so. Because Jermell Charlo, if he wins, which I think he will, he's with the PBC, and the PBC gonna do for the PBC. So in the end, even if Bud signed with the PBC, they're gonna favor Spence anyway. And I make no I don't have no delusions on that, even though Bud could sign with him for 2 fights. But in the end of the day, this is why I see it's a bottleneck. If both of them got to a point they both moved up at the same time, who gets to fight first? And see, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a problem because they're gonna cake for Spence. But technically, Bud should have it because he is the WBO champion. WBC, WBA, and IBF don't have provisions where you get to cut the line. They don't have that. So I was thinking about that shit. And Goucher or Tim Tszyu was never gonna be ready for Castano. Hold on, for Castano or Charlo. They was never gonna be ready. And so how that's gonna work out for us to feel any kind of way about Tim Tszyu missing out on his opportunity because Earl or Bud move up, I think Tim Tszyu is going to be very happy that that shit was in place because he's not ready, even by his own admission. And so, right now,
oh my bad, Missy, go ahead.
The only thing I'm saying about this whole thing is, that's kind of a potential problem lurking in the horizon because Bud gonna say you ain't trying to make the fight. Earl gonna say you ain't trying to make the fight. Both of them gonna try to move up, and then who get first dibs? So anybody got something to say about that?
Well, I can say it like this. You know what I mean? If he the WBO super champion, regardless of anything, he got that mandatory. He got that status. And I'm thinking whoever win out of Charlo and Castano, they might move up. And they're going to drop the belt, the WBO belt, and it's probably going to be Tim Tszyu versus Terrence Crawford. Now, Earl Spence moving up. Now, if Earl Spence moving up, then he'll probably be in the WBC or IBF sanction.
Yeah, but they don't have no provisions. Hold on, they don't have no provisions.
So who we got to fight?
Earl Spence don't have no guarantees because they don't have that in their provision.
What you just say, D?
Huh?
What you just say, D? But before that, if he move up with the sanctions, who he got to fight?
Shit, if I gotta just guess, don't take my word on this. If I gotta just guess, depending on the Fondor and Lubin winner, is
Got
probably
the
one of those two.
WBC belt in
Which,
in the
no, that's what I'm saying. Like if Charlo or Castano, if they fuck around, move up and drop those belts, I think we also got to look at the other 154 fight that's April 9th, I believe.
how would Charlo move up though?
Well, shit, what else he got to
He
prove?
doesn't. He does not. If Charlo wins,
He
nobody
don't
can
have to.
begrudge
Yeah,
him
he don't have
for
to. I
dropping the
mean,
belts.
Hold on.
Nobody can begrudge him for dropping the belts.
yeah,
And that's what
nah,
he's going to do because he don't want to
yeah,
fight Earl. He doesn't want to fight Earl. And then he might. And then if Bud come up, Bud gets to get the beeline. But we know that there's going to be a winner declared between
Man,
Castano
he said
and
he'd beat Bud
Charlo.
ass. He said he'd beat Bud
Not
ass if he
really.
come
Not
up.
really.
Don't
They
man.
didn't
But
say that.
a pair of lips can say anything. But I think it's like this, bro. If he win that shit, he win that shit. He could drop. If he win that shit, he get undisputed. Charlo, I'm speaking of. He necessarily don't have to fight, but I mean, it's something that we want to see. We could drop the belts and go to 160.
Man, he
I
told
mean,
Bud he better stay where he at.
man, listen, bro. That
Don't
nigga,
he
like
know
I
what he said. Did he not say that?
listen though. Yeah, he said that, but that doesn't mean anything though, bro. That don't mean shit. That ain't saying let's fight. That ain't saying let's fight. If you
Bro, he
get up
said
here, let's
bring
fight.
your ass up here and he'll show you.
No, he
Well,
didn't. He
nah, he
said
never
if
said that.
he
He
said,
never said that, bro. He never said that shit.
wait a
He
minute,
never said
salute
that
and
shit.
So he
well,
didn't say that, Miss T.
hold
He
on,
didn't
hold on,
say
hold on.
that.
Let me get these guys their flowers. Let me get my
Yeah,
kings their flowers.
He didn't say
Sir
that.
Ampo in the building. He said, salute, salute. What's up, King? And DJ is in the building. Salute, King. Sir Ampo said, huh? Spence fighting for his third strap in the division. And we talking about what Bud deserves. Yes, Sir Ampo. DJ said Tim Tszyu is already going to get the
Thank
winner of
you.
Carlo and Castano. He is slated. But
yeah.
if Bud moves up, he can cut the line of Tim Tszyu.
Yes, he's gonna be the super champion. I don't know if you read that shit, bro. You gotta go read that shit. The WBO super champion can move up either high or low on the rankings and they got first dibs. But what I'm telling you is this. I don't know if Charlo gonna fight him. I'm telling you, whoever win the belt, they probably gonna drop their WBO belt and it's gonna be Tim Tszyu and Terrence Crawford. That's how they gonna line it up.
I don't believe
I
that.
see, I see, I see Charlo. If I see him winning, but I also see him dropping the belts because
Exactly. And
I don't see that he wants to fight Bud, and he damn sure don't want to fight Earl. This is what I see. Let me describe their friendship, and I'm sorry if y'all gonna feel a certain way, but y'all ever see people who are friends, like two guys who are friends, but one of the guys know the other guy is more the goods than him, whether it's popularity, dressing, dancing, football playing, basketball playing, whatever. The other guy, one of the guys know that the other one is better than him at a lot of things, but he hanging on. Hey, like, this is my buddy. This is my buddy. Does he want to be lined up or linked with that person? That's exactly how I see Jermell Charlo and Earl Spence friendship. So that's just how I see it. He met his. I see you, Macy. I know you met his. And then DJ said Bud would have to fight an interim title fight. Only way he would get a title shot is if he was undisputed. No, DJ. If WBO and DJ's here, by the way. What's up, King?
what's
What's
good,
going
DJ?
on, Miss T? Hey, let me explain to you, right? Since he's not undisputed, he's not been deemed a super champion. You see how Demetrius Andrade just moved up as the WBO champion and didn't get a shot at Canelo right away, even though Canelo's busy. He's not going to get it. He has to fight an interim title fight. Just like
Hey,
Shakur Stevenson
DJ.
moved up.
What up,
Just like
DJ?
when Shakur Stevenson moved up from 26 to 30, he didn't get an immediate shot at Jamel Herring. He had to fight a couple fights. Only way he could come in and cut the line like Bud did with Jeff Horn is if he's undisputed. Now, Josh Taylor, if he really wanted Bud Crawford, he could force the issue right now. But he's not going to do that because I think
Because hey, DJ.
Go
So
ahead, bro. Go ahead.
no, Mama. I just want to ask one question. So was Shakur and was Demetrius Andrade, were they the WBO? Were they mandated WBO super champions?
Nope.
No.
And I think that's the difference, bro.
It is.
But go ahead and finish your point though, bro. My bad.
Hold on, my bad. I didn't hear you. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, I was asking was Shakur and Demetrius, were they elevated to super champion when they got that status to move up?
No.
That's now. Let me say something about that.
Oh, go ahead, Miss T. Go ahead.
That super champion is relative to me is kind of new because it has always been until they changed that rule. I want to say with Canelo, whether they was caking for him or not, I don't know, and I don't really want to debate that part, but it had always been that if you was a WBO champion, you could go to the next division, next higher division, and pretty much cut the line to face the champion, the WBO champion of that division. Now, considering that Brian
That's pretty much all it means, Miss T.
Yeah.
You get to cut the line.
Yeah,
that's all. You don't have to go from 7 to 5 to 3 to another title eliminator. No, you fight maybe one. You fight one, maybe 2 fights, then you get a title shot at the champion.
No, this is what I'm trying to say, DJ. I always was under the impression until this recent change that you could make a beeline to the champion of the WBO. But in Brian Castano and Charlo's case, one of them is going to be undisputed. They're going to have all the belts. So if you cut the line and go straight to the champion of the WBO, you're basically facing the undisputed champion. But in my opinion, in the end of the day, whether Bud goes up or Earl goes up, Charlo is going to drop them belts.
Hell no.
Or Castano's. I think either one of them, I think, going to drop belts. And that's where...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But DJ, that's what I'm saying. Once they drop those belts, the belts gonna be scattered. So if Bud is the WBO super champion and Tim Tszyu is rated the #1 mandatory, then they gonna have to fight for the WBO belt.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like what's gonna happen at 140 once Josh Taylor officially vacates, because he still hadn't officially vacated. I don't know what he got going on. Hey, Mako, go read the rules and see what they determine as a super champion. It's crazy. You got to be tied to a network, all this type of stuff, man. It's crazy rules how they determine a super champion in the WBO. But anyway, it's kind of like what's going on right now with at 140. You got the #1 contender right now, who I think is Jose Ramirez, if I'm not mistaken. But they got Teofimo. No, it's Catterall. It's Catterall. Catterall's #1. I think they got Teofimo #2. As it stands right now, them two would have to fight if the WBO mandated it.
You see what Maceo said? The automatic becomes the mandatory for the WBO. Now that's
not true. It's a case-by-case basis.
But
if they deem you a super, if the WBO deems you a super champion, that's how you become the automatic mandatory. That's how Usyk, who was undisputed, became the mandatory for Anthony
AJ's belt.
That fight.
That's how,
like I said earlier, that's how Bud became Jeff Horn's mandatory.
And Bud is the super. He's elevated.
Hey, DJ. So was Bud this WBO super champion after he won undisputed? Okay, after he won undisputed, I know he dropped the IBF belt because 10 days after he won it, they had lined him up to fight Sergey Lipinets, so he dropped the belt. But I don't know if he was the WBO super champion at 140.
He wasn't.
Okay, so he wasn't. All right, cool.
But he went straight. He made a beeline.
Miss T, can you pull up the rules? Can you pull up the rules? Because we just went through this on another show like a few weeks ago, and it's crazy the rules that they got in there to deem somebody a super champion. And I remember something in there. It all depends on what network you tied to and all this type of stuff. It's crazy.
Hey, but I also think it's longevity too, man. Because I think Bud's first belt was the WBO at 135.
Yep.
And
like Shakur's first belt was that WBO.
The WBO at 126, and then after I think after the Ray Beltran fight, he dropped it, and then he got the vacant WBO at 140 to fight with Thomas Delorme. And so, I'm
gonna see if I can share this.
But until they deem you a super champion, that just means you get to cut the line. You'll have to fight 1, maybe 2 fights, and then you'll get a shot. Like Demetrius Andrade, he's going to 68, and his next fight is going to be an interim title fight against the number one contender from the WBO at super middleweight, which is Zach Parker. That's his next fight. That just all that means. You just get to cut the line until they deem you a super champion. If they deem you a super champion, that's when you can go straight to the champion.
So look, Bud has been recently deemed the super WBO champion.
Okay.
So he just got that elevation. And here it is right here. I think it's this, but they be talking about you can have super champions and other sanctioning bodies as well. The boxer has to successfully defend his title cumulative a minimum of 10 title bouts. Has Bud did that?
That's the WBA, Miss T.
That's the WBA. That's the WBA.
Where is that WBA? Oh, right here. Okay, I'm sorry. But damn. Oh, look, I'm clicking in my window instead of clicking over here. What year did okay,
baby.
Which one do y'all want me to hit? Because look what I got. What is the WB? Okay, I'm gonna hit this one. Is this it, y'all? Which part, DJ?
Yeah, I think that is it.
Hold on, let me see. Yes, these are the rules here. Yep.
Which one you want me to go to? Where it says?
Yeah, just scroll down. Just scroll down. Hold on. Go back up. Go back up.
Okay.
To number one. The boxer presently or previously has had multiple bout contract with the major television network for multiple years. 2, the boxer has successfully defended his title a cumulative of 10 times, 10 title bouts, which Bud has been in 10 title bouts.
With the WBO.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The boxer's amateur history was being considered. Scroll up, Miss T.
Okay, hold on.
The quality of prospective super champions record, including the quality of his opponents, and their records will be considered. Additionally, the following factors will be considered in determining the super champion. The prospective super champion has been the WBO world champion in more than one weight class. If the prospective super champion has held the championship of 4 major sanctioning organizations, the prospective super champion has unified the championships of more than one or the 4 major sanctioning bodies. Current champion status is not required to qualify or continue as a super champion. So they could have dubbed Demetrius Andrade a super champion.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have.
But see, the politics didn't fall in his way this time.
Yeah, right. So they cake for Canelo. Can we say that?
Oh man, we know Canelo don't want to fight Andrade. I mean, we just beat the dead horse talking about that. The man told him straight to his face, "You never gonna get the fight."
But what I'm saying is the sanctioning bodies cake for him.
Yeah. You definitely privileges afforded super champions. Scroll up, Miss T.
Okay.
Like that first one where you got to be tied to a network. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy because I didn't know that shit either.
Those fighters recommended by the championship committee and approved by the executive committee quality for the following rules and privileges: extension of mandatory title defense. Pretty much, you can just prolong fighting the mandatory. Eligibility to be considered for designation as the mandatory challenger is higher. If requested by a super champion, the championship committee may designate the super champion as the mandatory challenger for the immediate higher or lower division.
There you have it.
Yeah,
there you go.
He could move. So he could move up or down.
If the WBO has deemed Bud or whoever the super champion, he can go up and cut the line,
or go down and cut the line,
or go down, or he can go back down to 140 and beat up them.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So there we have it.
Yep, but it's crazy how they determine who a super champion is, man. That one thing being tied to a network, that shit, that blew. I was like, wait, what? What?
But he gotta have a network deal. Biggest of all the networks, ESPN.
Yeah, he was signed to the biggest network of all of them, the worldwide leader.
Yeah. So and it looked like to me that they factor in previous shit.
Right. They factor in your amateur record. You got to been in at least 10 title defenses.
Yeah.
You got to been in at least 10 title fights with that sanctioning body. But I heard y'all asking earlier what route would if Errol didn't go undisputed, what route would he go if he moved up? I think he'd go the IBF route because the IBF actually makes you fight their mandatory.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They do not play around. The IBF will strip your ass.
but now if he goes up, and would they make him fight somebody else to be like a title eliminator?
Yeah, he'd have to fight a title eliminator. The WBO, I think, is the only sanctioning body that has that rule. I think the WBC has it too, if I'm not mistaken. I think the WBC has it.
And the
but
WBA.
For sure, the WBO has that rule where you can just pretty much move up, tell everybody else who's been fighting and scrapping it out in that weight class, hey, everybody get out the way. I want him. I got next.
Andrew
Do
Charles.
something about it.
Andrew Charles
Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez, shout out to L-Dub, the plug, man. He told me about this. Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez are actually appealing the WBO's rankings because how has Teofimo never fought in his weight class? He lost his last fight, moves up in weight, and y'all already got him ranked number 2?
Damn, I didn't know that.
He's ranked, Teofimo Lopez is currently ranked number 2 in the WBO as super lightweight.
Wow.
Man, damn, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. So Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez are appealing that. I think Catterall's number 1 and Ramirez is number 3.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. He hadn't fought one fight in this weight class. He lost his last fight at a lower weight class. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, they're just giving him some credence because he was a 3-belt champion. That's how I look at it. I ain't saying it's right or wrong.
Yeah, he was a 3-belt champion. He went undisputed.
I mean,
I don't care that, Mauricio Suleiman, he get on that oil and decide he want to change his mind.
Let me get some of these chats, y'all, right quick.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr.
Big Dog said, facts, rules are crazy. Y'all cooking. Thank you, sir. Andrew Charles said, sound legit to me. Andrew also said, the hardest part about those rules is like the one person on the panel mentioned longevity. And Sir Ampo said, super chant, W Wamp, where the fights to, though. Clarify.
Super chat, Wamp, where the fights, though. Yeah. All he's saying is pretty much what is it going to lead to some fights.
Straight up. That's all I want to see is some fights.
Yeah.
Andrew said, if you're meeting the requirements of 10 title defenses or belts in multiple divisions, you probably got a network deal anyways. That's a good point.
But that's crazy that's a requirement that you have to have a network deal.
Well,
that's crazy.
You could be a fighter who never was on nobody's network, but you out there shining. And that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but
did you look at all those networks that was on there too, though? Because I mean, they had Sky on that bitch. Sky really not popular out here. I think they paired through
that's kind of like the ESPN of the
UK. Yeah, they like ESPN child, like a sister company with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, those other little companies they had, it's like parent companies.
Thank you. I was going to ask you to do that. I'm sorry, my wife just turned the air conditioner on.
Macadocious Mac of the South. Welcome to the building, King. He says, salute the lovely and beautiful Madame Queen Misty. Thank you, sir. Sir Ambo say facts.
Salute.
As for the winner of the Charlo Castaño undisputed super welterweight matchup in a couple months, I think whoever wins that is probably going to fight Tim Tszyu and then drop the belts. But you also got Bakram out there who took step aside money. He's the number 1 IBF mandatory at super welterweight, so he's going to want his shot. So
yeah,
I think whoever wins that fight is going to fight one more fight at super welterweight and then move up. I don't think anybody's going to stay and be, the undisputed champion and pay 4 different sanctions for a long period of time. That's why Floyd would always win the belts and drop them.
Yeah.
So I don't think
that's what I think gonna happen
4
too.
belts for a long time.
I think shit. I don't even think nobody gonna even try to defend it. I think whichever one of them win it, they just gonna drop the motherfuckers and move up.
And the whole point of me saying
I think Castaño would defend it. I think Castaño.
Yeah, maybe Castaño.
Charlo would probably move up, but I think Castaño would defend it. because if Charlo moves up, he could cut the line to the WBO. He'd probably have to fight what's his name, Johnny Beck. He probably have to fight Johnny Beck for the WBO belt, since Demetrius Andrade, more than likely after his fight in May, is going to vacate. They give you some time. Like, I think what's his name? I think Josh Taylor is still in that time frame where he still either has to make his decision whether because he has a WBA guy he has to fight. He either has to vacate or fight Alberto Puello in his next fight.
But here's the thing. This is my whole point of even bringing this up. Because I like to squash narratives and debunk them before they even get started. Because I'm thinking we should not be shocked if Tim Tszyu is left out in the cold. Because in the last 6 or 8 months, they've been building this man up like he was relevant. And I like Tim Tszyu. So if he listening, no harm.
He didn't impress me,
disrespect. But he didn't impress me either. I see him as beatable. I think it's suicide for him to get in there with Jermell Charlo. For real. Anybody with some speed and accuracy and got pop on their punch will murder him, to me. So
especially with Bakram being out there, the number one guy in the IBF, I think they'll slow cook Tim Tszyu, especially even though he dominated Goucher in that fight. I think 10 rounds to 2. Even though he dominated Goucher, I think the PBC and the guys and the powers that be sat back and looked at that last night like, he ain't ready.
That's why Jim Gray asked him that question.
He needs at least another 2 fights before they even think about putting him in there.
He probably need like 5 or 10.
But he ain't got that long, Miss T. You ain't gonna be able to hold up that spot that long.
Let me get some of these chats. Macadocious Mac at the South said, "What up, PGH? Jay Gibson, salute my brothers and kings." Andrew say, "This is a title for an established fighter, champion in the game, so I can understand. Is all I'm saying. Why they looking for someone with success on the business end as well." And welcome to the building, D-Ray Promotions. What's popping, King? That what's popping, Queen? Panel and chat. And Tay said Andre has already moved up. And Tim Tszyu not ready. Of course, he's not ready. And I just think it's going to be real interesting because we are so focused on this Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. Will it happen? Will it not happen? And what they're going to do. And I told y'all, Earl is on his third plan. And I don't say that negative. And I know some people will take it negative. He on his third plan. He's on his third plan because he's saying now, hey, after 2 fights, I'm moving up. Before it was, let me clean up my streak. Before that was, go get that belt, Terrence Crawford, then holler at me. So to me,
we ain't gonna do that.
That is what it is, ATL.
We're gonna do that, Miss T.
Because that's the truth, ATL. We got to do it because that's the truth. It don't mean nothing negative. He's a grown man. He can have whatever plan he want. I'm just
you see my name on the screen, right?
Man down. Gonna definitely be man down. Literally.
Man down, shouty. Hey.
Man down, shouty gonna be definitely man down.
Miss T, it's killing him to make 147. I think he wants this third belt. He really wanted to knock Pacquiao off for that third belt. Now Ugas just happened to slide in that spot and get that fight of a lifetime. But he really wanted to knock Pacquiao. Think about it. His last 2 fights at that weight class is gonna be Pacquiao and Bud. I don't think he really wanted to fight Ugas, but Ugas, remember after Ugas got elevated to super champion, he was like, okay, now you got something I want.
So who you think gonna win the fight?
DJ, he talking to you. But me and D already know who's gonna win the fight. Ain't that right, D?
DJ. I gotta say your name, DJ. Who you think
what
gonna
happened?
win?
What happened between who?
Earl Spence and Crawford.
No, I ain't talking about that.
You talking about Spence and Ugas?
Yes.
Spence gonna stop him in the 11th round with a body shot.
I thank you. Thank you.
I don't know. DJ, man. I got to go in 12.
Hey,
7-5.
Spence, I'm telling you, man. Listen.
Thank you, DJ.
Spence is coming into the. You think he ain't sat back for the past 16 months and watched Bud knock out Sean Porter and hear everybody call him Errol Sprints and all that. Man, he coming in there to tear some shit up.
Yeah.
Thank
Listen.
DJ.
And I'm not denying that. But I just think of it as this. It's gonna be a technical fight, man. It's definitely gonna be technical. Now I will say this: if Spence could get that jab off
EJ don't
all
listen
night,
to him. He a hater, bro. He don't like EJ.
man, there he
No,
go
it's
with that
cool. It's cool. I
bullshit.
respect everybody's
There
opinion.
you
I
go with
respect
that.
everybody's opinion.
But real shit though, fellas. On some real spill. I say this. I said ATL and DJ. If
You know I'm
Spence can
fucking
get
with
that,
you, bro.
yeah, I already know. You know, if Spence get that, if Spence can get that jab off consistently all night, where he ain't having no trouble with it. Oh yeah, he definitely could stop him, or he could beat his ass up for 12 rounds. But
And look,
if Ugas can nullify that jab, it's gonna be a long night.
Can't nobody do that.
Sean Porter did it.
crazy.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Up.
Sean Porter nullified that jab, man.
Tell him D.
Go back and look at that face when he got hit with that guy.
Bro, no, fuck the face. I watch that fight damn near every other day.
That nigga said,
Hey, look, Tay said, didn't Thurman also make Errol get a belt? Yes, he did.
that nigga did like Kevin Hart. He said, which one of them hit me? Was it him?
Tay
Yes,
said,
hey, Sean got hit in that 11th round. Ooh, who touched nerves?
Hey, but that's another. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Now in the 11th round, it was just a perfectly timed shot by that nigga Spence.
Exactly.
That nigga Porter. But listen though, it wasn't set up by nothing. Porter just opened up wide, and that nigga Spence just caught him with that short left.
Just like you said, it was perfectly timed.
He timed it. Yeah, he definitely timed it.
Tay said, I don't think he gonna stop him, but I hope he do. And no excuses. And me and ATL got back. Hey, DJ.
Spence gonna tear some shit up. That's why I'm gonna be in the building, Miss T.
That's what I said.
DJ, we got some bets going on over here on this channel too.
Okay.
It's
$50
little bets, but I bet this shit go to decision.
DJ, let me tell you, I bet, right?
Okay.
I bet somebody that EJ gonna win by knockout, and then I bet somebody else $50 that at the end of the fight when he beat Ugas, he's gonna call Terrence Crawford out.
I didn't take that bet, but I don't think he will. What
you think?
It's great. Yes, you can.
I mean, it ain't nowhere else for either one of them to go.
Look at the
now,
stats.
Yeah.
It ain't nowhere else for either one of them to go. The path is clear. I think this fight will happen in October around Halloween. I think this fight will happen around Halloween, man. Yeah, what's up?
Answer this question for me, bro.
What's up, bro?
I bet somebody $50 on this shit. If Errol Spence beat Ugas, he's gonna call Terrence Crawford out. Because I'm gonna tell you why. He's gonna call him out because everything he been saying for years, Terrence Crawford is the last piece of his puzzle. And I told them I bet $50 that Spence is gonna call Crawford out after he beat Ugas. What do you think about that?
I think he will. Because I also don't believe these guys are ducking each other. I think the suits ain't got out the way. But I think now it's finally that time where both sides got to really, Spence's side and Bud's side, gonna really sit down. It's like, it's time. It's time. There's nothing else to do. There's nobody else in the way. Let's do this.
Thank you.
If it doesn't happen at the end of this year, then it's probably not going to happen.
It probably won't happen. And I just think it's two factors I think that plays in.
Hey, shout out to Tay.
Hold on, I had to mute you. Come on, D was talking.
my bad. I say it like this, Miss T. It's only one or two things. Now, if Spence win this bitch in a dominant fashion and he's stopping, I think he might call him out. I think he might have the confidence enough to say, you know what, fuck that, I'm ready. But if it's a tooth and nail fight, I don't see that, bro. I don't see it.
Let me get some.
My bad. Go ahead, Miss.
Now I was just gonna get some of these chats because they coming in. Tay says Spence outside game is basic, but good. It can be counterpunch. I think that's what he's saying. That 2-1 bust throws can definitely counter that jab. Bud throws. Okay. Spence and Bud got $1 million bet on EJ calling Bud out for show. Okay. Yeah, they got $1 million bet. I think he will. So, okay, I'm caught up on the chats. That was the bet, DJ. Like, you know,
Okay. So y'all betting on the stoppage pretty much. Y'all betting on the stoppage, and will he call out Bud? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I think both happen.
You do?
Thank you.
But as far as like when people say Spence is basic, you know who else was basic? Different sport. You know who else was basic and dominated the sport for years? Tim Duncan.
I knew he was about to say that shit.
No special effects. You know, everything was, as Shaq called him, the big fundamental. It was fundamental, but he dominated the sport for 20 years.
You know, DJ,
I played against him in high school.
He did. It's some truth to that. But listen, it's a couple of people out there that's basic and fundamental that I can think of that are great fighters. Kell Brook.
Yeah.
Basic. Laura. Because Laura went to the fucking death.
Boots Ennis.
Boots got a little.
Well, no, he's not.
He got a little flair to him. But if you really sit and watch what Boots does, he's very fundamental, and part of that is because he's still teaching.
Man,
he's
ain't nobody
teaching the fundamentals, so his fundamentals are still sharp.
I'm not believing that shit.
He hadn't developed any bad habits.
What you talking about, DJ?
He's still training other people.
I'm not believing nothing about Boots until he fights somebody who.
Well, he fighting Custio Clayton, so we gonna see.
This is what I say, right? EJ and Bud need to go ahead and fight each other and get out the division.
Ain't Custio Clayton Muhammad Ali, dude?
EJ and Bud need to hurry and fight each other and get out the division before Boots get hold to him. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you're right about that, DJ.
Ain't nobody worried about Boots, bro.
Yeah, but
and them the only two that'll go to decision with him. Everybody else gets stretched out.
Boots ain't got hit in that chin yet. I don't care what nothing.
Yes, he have. He been hit square in the face and didn't move.
But we need to see that against a real puncher, though, DJ.
We do.
We need to see that against a real puncher.
Boots been in there was no competition for him, and and Boots he under the mantra of, "Hey, if you don't supposed to be in here with me, I'm gonna get you about it."
Yeah, get him out of there.
That man is on a 26 fight knockout streak, man.
Yeah,
at 147, man.
You're right now.
At 147, he ain't going tooth and nail with nobody.
Nah, you're right. He making those guys really look easy. He's making those guys really look easy.
Ain't that he ain't fighting nobody. He making them look like nobody.
Those guys.
Roy Jones.
But I ain't gonna lie though. I mean the Sergey Lipinets and the Delorme, but like I said, he got this top 15 guy, Custio Clayton, which Custio Clayton trainer came out and said that they ducked the fight, that they Boots had ducked them like 3 times, but which Boots was probably trying to fight other guys. You know what I mean? Y'all go check that out, man. I read that shit earlier today.
Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm not.
If you rank ninth, and I'm ranked 4th, I'm trying to fight people above me. I'm not thinking about you.
Right.
So that's not. I don't consider that a duck. If you rank 9th or 10th, and I'm ranked 4th or 3rd, I'm trying to fight champions, and you had the gall to say my name all of a sudden. Like that Blair Cobb shit.
Well, man, come on, but no, DJ, don't do that. I'm not gonna let you get away with that one, bro. No, bro. DJ, you can't do that. You can't do that. This nigga wasn't even rated in the top 10, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that, DJ.
Didn't I say dumpster juice?
Yeah, you did. But here's the difference, DJ. Here's the difference. If you are not a champion, which Boots isn't, he's not even number 1 in most, like all of them. I think
he's gonna be a champion.
Number 1. It don't matter what you're gonna be, is what you are today. So if you're not today the champion, and somebody who's not a champion, just like you, calls you out, handle that.
I get the sentiment, but it's
I'm finna give all y'all a different perspective. I'm gonna tell you why Boots gonna be a champion, right? I'm gonna tell you why, and y'all gonna be like, "Damn, we don't know where the hell ATL be at sometime, right?" After this fight with Yugas, Spence and Crawford gonna fight, right? That shit gonna be out the way. Both of them already talked about moving up. They both gonna move up, so all the belts gonna be vacant, and all the new prospects that's coming up is gonna be the welterweight division, and them niggas gonna move up. What y'all think about that?
Yeah, once Spencer Crawford move up, is the Boots era.
Yeah, it's the
It's
Boots
the
saying
Boots
it.
It's his takeover.
Especially now, which I thought he was gonna beat his ass anyway. Especially now since Virgil done had to move up to super welterweight. Oh, it's a clear road.
Yeah, and check
Clear
this
road.
out.
Nigga, nothing stopping him.
Who gonna
Clear
beat him?
Only
as
Conor
day.
McGregor?
problem is, can he maintain 147? He ain't never
Easy.
looked like no
Easily.
147 to me.
Easily, Miss T. And I've told this story before.
This nigga look way bigger than 147.
Miss T,
Yeah.
I've told you this story before. I met him at Tank's fight last year. I met him at the Tank Barrios fight last year, right in Atlanta. Boots was every bit of 180 pounds then, and his dad was sitting there telling us. Him and his dad was sitting there telling us, "Nah, he's only about 165, 170." Like, I played football my whole life. Boots is a fucking cornerback right now.
Literally. Yeah,
Like,
he definitely. Yeah.
But if you look at him on the scale, he's never sucked down. He's never dehydrated. He makes the weight easy. He always, 145, 146 and a half, 147, 147, 146. He's making the weight easy.
Yeah.
I don't know how him and his team are getting him down to 147, but they're doing it fairly easy.
It's probably his regimen, man. He probably eat good. He probably don't blow up in between fights, bro.
Yeah, he's one of them guys, one of them clean dudes. Don't smoke, don't drink. Always in the gym. He knocked out the Lorme on Saturday and was back in the gym on Tuesday.
You know,
he's juicing in a good way. I don't mean no banned substance. I mean juicing, or he's eating fruits and vegetables. That shit will knock all weight off. Like, you wouldn't even believe how much weight can just drop off you, and you're not sunk in or unhealthy or anything if you just turn your diet to just that. He's 24 right now. But here's the thing, DJ, Father Time don't wait for nobody.
Absolutely not.
And he about to be over 25 and up. So you already know.
Yeah, he's
what,
24,
all are
25
and up. We know how that story go. Ain't nobody look. Age has not been defeated yet.
No. Nobody beats Father Time. Absolutely nobody. Nobody.
Well, I mean, except for Tom Brady.
Yeah, a little bit. There's an illusion. Capsule for G. I think Spence going to say we see. Welcome to the building, sir. George Foreman was a basic. B-Hop basic. Now, I don't know about B-Hop being basic. Maybe George, but I don't know about B-Hop. Lots of young American talent on deck in the welterweight division. Indeed. But yeah, I'm just.
I mean, yeah, you got Speedy Rashidi in there too. If they can ever get him a fight now that he's gotten away from Oscar.
Yeah, these people are playing way too much like God or something, like in these fighters fight, and it's messing it up for their career, as we seeing with Tank. And so it remains to be seen. That Boots done a good thing, in my opinion. I don't know how the future gonna play out, but right now it looks good. Signing with the Showtime.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't got to go through the minutia. He cutting out the middleman. They got to fight, they going to pay him. They ain't got to go through the him and Han and Leonard Ellaby and them, cutting into his checks and stealing his money or whatever and all that stuff. If Showtime say, hey, I'm paying you $500,000, that's what the fuck you're getting. You would think. But that remains to be seen. I don't think Showtime would do good to get a whole lot of people in that predicament. So to all them fighters out there listening, better get in when the getting is good. That's how I see it. New media said hopefully Rashidi can get some fights now. Hopefully.
Yeah, he just got out of that contract with Oscar back in January, man. He hadn't fought in like I want to say over a year. It's been like 15 months, I want to say. 14, 15 months. Because he hadn't fought since like October of 2020. October or November of 2020. It's been that long.
Damn.
It's been that long, Miss T.
That's neglect.
Damn.
Yeah, he was going through a contract dispute with Oscar, and he finally got out of that contract. The contract ended in January. Oscar's claiming that they offered him fights, and he turned them down. And Speedy Rashidi saying, they didn't offer him shit.
I mean, so I know
that. I wanted, and I said that was crazy when it was happening because how has Virgil Ortiz gotten 3 fights and Speedy Rashidi ain't got 1 and they in the same weight class?
Because let's talk about the elephant in the room. Because they favor Mexican fighters. you know, when it comes to this racial shit, it's only really one group that's doing a lot of it. And I ain't saying they above and beyond the call, but you know, they showing this rearing this ugly head sometimes when it comes to people who are Mexican or and have the authority or got some kind of positional authority. They're doing people a disservice. Not all Mexicans. Any Mexicans listening to me, I'm not talking about your whole race. I'm talking about the people in positional authorities are taking advantage and doing this crazy shit. Look at Mr. Cantone, aka Mauricio Suleiman. You know, he making up special rules for his favorite fighters. But you just a sanctioning body. Why should you be that in depth in a fighter's career? Like, you know, you just there, hey, the belt on the line, you're gonna award it to this person, you're gonna collect your sanctioning fee from that person and these people. That's your involvement in a nutshell. But no, you fucking making up rules. You know, you claim you in the clean body program with VADA, but you're not adhering to the rules and you're not punishing people. So who you doing it for? You ain't doing it for blacks, you ain't doing it for whites, you're doing it for Mexicans. Then you got the WBA, the same thing. That's the Venezuelan belt or the highest bidder. You know, if you're a Latino,
yeah.
We could clean that from last year in August with Mikael Fox. So then you got the WBO is Bob Arum's belt. And I mean,
absolutely, that's Bob Arum's belt. Whatever Bob orders, that's everybody know that's what the WBO stand for. What not World Boxing, whatever organization. No, it's whatever Bob orders. Bob said put Teofimo as number 2, even though he ain't had a fight in that weight class. Put Teofimo as number 2 in that weight class. Oh, okay.
And that's what they do. And the IBF is about the most legit of all. I ain't gonna say.
And they got raided by the feds, Miss T.
Didn't they? Well, it probably don't hurt that they're for the feds that they're located in New Jersey. Everybody else is located WBA in Venezuela, WBO in Puerto Rico, and WBC in Mexico. And this shit matters. It's, you know, but to me, when you claim yourself as a nonprofit, this is how America could get you. So if you operating outside the realms of a nonprofit, then that's how we can put our stank on it as Americans, because you can't do that shit. Now you fucking with Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam don't give a fuck who you is. When you owe him, you owe him. And when you operate your shit as a profit instead of a non-profit, you done made a file of Uncle Sam. So to me, that's how you straighten them type people out. But ain't nobody pulling the trigger. You know what I'm saying? So all we got to do is keep mentioning it, and maybe something. Just maybe something would change. Remember some years ago when Ryan Garcia was acting like he had a problem with Oscar De La Hoya with the pay and all that? I was shocked to find out. If you Google Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford's net worth, you're going to see some number like 8 million. Google Ryan Garcia's 10 million.
Yeah, that came from that. I don't know how he's never been a champion. He was not an Olympic medalist, but yet he got a Gatorade deal.
How?
His marketing on that social media shit.
Exactly, that's social media, man. That's what people, you know, he fast on the mitts, and you know, he's sitting there and people letting him punch him 30 times in the gut while I got pads on, and people going crazy about that. Oh, look at Ryan. When Luke Campbell, who can't even punch, sat you on your ass.
But hey, I mean, kudos to the young fella for, you know.
Yeah, he got up. He got up with his Luke Campbell.
I'm just talking more so on the outside tip. You know, I mean, he put himself out there. You know, he promoted himself on that, and he know how to use that internet shit to his advantage. I mean, he a young cat. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it is crazy how he worth that. If he were really worth that 10 million, man, that shit crazy.
That there sours him for with him personally. That's where his lack of motivation is coming from. He rich, you know, he don't even give a care if y'all do find Waldo. He don't care. He got his millions. He gonna be, and if you play his cards right, if you got about $10 million and you his age, you could be rich for life. And so it don't matter how many baby mamas you get or whatever. I think at this point, boxing is some way to exude his manness, you know, because he looked like the type that probably been challenged by his peers or whatever. He's a nice looking guy. He might want to go into the field of marketing, or being a model or something. But you know
movies.
where he is, movies or something. But where he is, I mean, the priority for a young Woody, like 22, 23, laying pipe and mowing bitches down, he good to go. He got the money, and he is a boxer. He's a certified boxer.
Miss T, you remember who else they promoted like that?
Who?
Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep.
The golden boy.
Yep.
Oddly enough, they promoted Oscar. See, people don't really remember Oscar De La Hoya, even though he was a gold medalist in the Olympics. He was promoted as a heartthrob. He's the guy the women want to be with, the men want to be. You know, he was a handsome fella who could go in there and whoop some ass. You see what I'm saying? That was his appeal when he first. That's how they promoted him. That's how Bob Arum promoted him.
Right about that. Yeah, because I remember Oscar was on everything. Oscar was on everything.
He did Playgirl, all of that, man. I remember that.
Nigga was on the Wheaties box.
I remember that, man.
That nigga was on the Wheaties box. On Knockout Kings.
The between Ryan and Oscar was a dog. Like everything that's happened since then kind of mars his boxing career. Oscar was a dog. Like he did win. He was a gold medalist before he turned pro, and he wasn't even gonna turn pro. Kind of like Sugar Ray Leonard, but you know he fought everybody. Didn't win them all. He definitely got a gift against Pernell Whitaker, but he fought everybody. Man, Oscar was a dog in his boxing career. Now post career, you know, shaky.
Fishnets and black pantyhose.
You know, got some fishnets. My man out here with fishnets and boxing gloves. You know, a little bullet sugar here and there. But, you know.
Yeah, that's Oscar. And
he ain't made the best decisions post-career, but during his boxing career as an athlete, Oscar was a dog, man.
When it comes to getting in that ring.
He just enjoying the fruits of his labors. You know, sometimes we all enjoy our fruits of our labors a little different.
Yeah. I mean, my man likes to party. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He out there in La La Land. Man, like to party.
But as far as putting the cart before the horse, that's what Ryan is doing. And this is why he catches the flack. I mean, you got somebody like Ray Boom Boom Mancini coming out talking about you basic as hell. Like he ain't got no confidence in you. No, your contemporaries don't have confidence in you. The past former champions is looking at you sideways. Get it together, Ryan. It's more to life than pipe land. You know, it's more to life than that. I mean, he landed low and spreading it wide. He on baby number 2, probably on baby number 3.
Wait, he got kids?
Do he?
Hell yeah, that nigga got kids.
Wait, Ryan got kids? I didn't know he had kids.
Yeah, he got two different baby moms.
Ooh, let you know I don't follow him like that.
Yeah.
Whatever pop up that somebody else done shared, that's all I be knowing.
And look, one of the girls he was dating, the last girl, she came on social media. You know, you can tell she was a little hurt. She said he didn't tell me about his other girlfriends and that he had a baby on the way. I was
he's a handsome fella. He's a handsome fella, you know, rich out there in California. So I'm pretty sure he out there doing what he do.
He laying the pipe, boy. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
I ain't finna say all that, but he doing what he do.
He doing something. You know he laying the pipe. He creating people. He creating people.
Hey, Miss T, I'm gonna say this, right? Even a dead clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, that's it.
But you know, pause. You know.
Yeah, but you know his.
But
that's what he looks like.
Man he out there enjoying life. I'll say that.
But at our expense, as boxing fans, boxing is the one sport you cannot play. You have to do.
Yeah.
It's the one sport. That's what's different about it.
To real boxing fans, he's irrelevant, Miss T.
They keep making them relevant because here lately.
To real boxing fans, I'm not just talking about these 16 to 18-year-old girls who
social
keep sharing
media
this stuff online, and these frat boys who are his age who keep sharing this stuff online, who don't know shit about sugar when it comes to boxing. Right. They like him.
Right.
But if he catching favor, go ahead, D. I'm sorry.
Nah, yeah, them little niggas probably don't even know what a pull counter is.
Right.
But he catches favor, you guys. See, like right now, Oscar trying to get him in with Tank. Y'all think Tank should even entertain some shit like that?
The money's right.
If you believe Big Head Ellaby,
Nostrils.
They tried to offer him a fight last year around this time, and that's when he went off and started talking about the whole Manny Pacquiao shit. Then it went for Manny Pacquiao, and he was supposed to fight Fortuna, and then he got out of that Fortuna fight talking about I got mental issues. So
yeah, I think that all that shit was just cap, man. They were just trying to clout.
Hey, you know,
yeah, I don't think Ryan. I think especially after Luke Campbell put him on his ass, I think Oscar said, "Oh fuck no."
Y'all remember I did a video. I don't know if y'all remember this. I did a video months ago where I was talking about what Oscar had to say. This is before Devin Haney fought Jojo Diaz. He was like, "Oh well, you know, I'm gonna wait till Devin Haney and Tank, I believe, or like maybe Devin Haney, Tank, and Tio. He wanted to wait till they move out the weight class because you know that all three of them, well, maybe not Tank as much because I think Tank is go 130, 135, 140 is all about his discipline. But definitely Devin and Tio is growing out of that weight. And Oscar was like, he actually said this, I'm going to wait till they move out the weight class before I put my fighters, meaning Ryan Garcia and Jojo Diaz, for a title shot. And then Jojo wound up having to fight with Devin. And I was like, you actually said some nut shit like that? That's crazy to me. But that's what he thinks about his fighters.
Well, I mean, it ain't gonna do you no good because by the time Devin and Tank and Cambosos and T.O. all move on, guess who coming right behind him? Shakur. So good luck, sir.
You know what would be?
I don't know. He might take one of them belts and run with him. He might.
Y'all know what would be a good fight for T.O. going up to 140? Elvis Rodriguez.
Oh yeah, that would be a nice little scrap for T.O. That would be a nice little scrap. I like Elvis Rodriguez. That's the one Kenneth Smith beat. I'm not Kenneth Smith, Kenneth Sims.
Did he have a loss? Because I don't think he's
I think Kenneth Sims had beat him. That was an upset in fact. Kenneth Sims, I think, was like he was a big underdog. So I know a lot of people won a lot of money off Kenneth Sims that fight.
If y'all don't know who Elvis Rodriguez is, go look that boy.
Google him. Go to YouTube.
Yes, go look at some of
he's nice.
He put a hurting on that Velasco this weekend.
Ooh. Yeah, I saw that shit.
I was like, that boy ain't nothing but the truth. That boy ain't nothing but the truth. Whoever he fight gonna have some problems. Gonna have some major problems. But since I brought Devin up, ATL, I know you was waiting on this. So, okay, from my understanding, anybody can add in more. I'm just telling you from my little bit of understanding. So Devin Haney took this egregious deal just so he can get at the belts, so he could be undisputed and dare to dream. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't mad at him. I personally don't like the deal for him, but he's his own man and he can do what he want to do. With all that being said, you know, after Devin win those belts and he satisfies his rematch with George Kambosos, what y'all think he should do next?
And move to 140.
You think he should drop it right away?
Yeah, move to 140 because I actually think he kind of draining himself, but that's what he want to do. He want to be undisputed at 35. I think once he do that, fill those obligations, man, and just move up to 140. And I think whenever he gets to 140, I really think that power gonna start coming back to him.
I just don't. I don't think Devin's ever going to be a thumper like that. But I definitely think he should satisfy those 2 fights with Kambosos, move up and whoop Teofimo
ass. You think he could beat Tio?
Absolutely.
Oh
Tio, See the thing with because I watched that Kambosos and Tio fight again the other day, and I watched Devin's fight with Linares and JoJo. My question is, leading into this Kambosos and Devin fight, if Kambosos ever signs the contract, who's going to lead the dance in that fight? Both of them guys kind of like to sit back and counter a little bit. Devin will get on that power jab, but as far as throwing anything hard, he waits for you to come into his power before he throws it. He don't really try to walk anybody down. Kambosos don't really try to walk anybody down. If you really go back and watch that fight with Tio, he was playing the matador. He was doing a lot of ole. All right, come on. Every time Tio decided he wanted to jump in, Kambosos got some fast ass hands.
And
man.
hey, DJ, that's going. I think that.
Go ahead, bro.
Hello? Did you lose?
Oh,
I don't know if we lost. D, are you
but
still there?
I want to know who's gonna lead the dance in that fight. Who's gonna try to get off first? Because both guys are naturally counter punches. So, but yeah, I think he can beat T.O. I definitely think he can beat T.O. I always thought he could walk T.O. ass around that ring for 12 rounds.
See, I'm gonna beg to differ a little with you. I like Devin. Don't get me wrong. I like him. But I don't think he can beat Teofimo, a healthy, ready to go Teofimo. I don't, because there's certain other things that Devin do, which he is a complete boxer, but his shots are too wide. And I think Tio got more pop and thump on this shit than Devin. And I think Tio
absolutely
could catch Devin. And that's sorry. Oh, I thought I was gonna hear some noise. That's the only thing that I be looking at when I think of Devin and Tio. Like, even before Tio lost the belts, I was like, I think Tio will beat you, shawty. Now, as far as Lomachenko, because Lomachenko, I felt like tried to duck Devin. I think Lomachenko ain't got the confidence, maybe, to fight a Devin Haney. Not saying that Lomachenko is a bitch or he's scared to fight people, but I just think because I see
neither one of them.
Nah, she wasn't, bro.
Neither one of them.
But not me, being a good-hearted nigga.
Yeah, he was like, "These my part." He said, "Nah."
And I swear to God, on everything I love Drake,
partners.
I used to tell Chuck every day.
They gonna stay here.
It was just something in my head. I used to tell nigga every day. Nigga, you did something. Dre said he gonna beat your ass when he get out, bro. Am I lying?
Yeah, but when
Dre said he snitched his girl.
I know they was. I didn't know. I was like, I thought they was.
Say, what happened?
Yeah, like, what happened to D? D dropped out, yo. But yeah. But I just that's how I see it. Like, Devin is a good fighter, but that lack of thump. Why I appreciate him? Because he doesn't take that type of criticism and go figure like, oh, let me do some extracurricular to spruce up my thump, like something that's illegal or whatever. I hope that he stays in that frame of mind. I don't know how y'all men progress and y'all growing. He's still a growing man. And, I don't know if his power is going to increase anymore because I'm assuming he's coming to his man strength. Maybe you could tell me different, DJ. Like, anybody the age where you can say he came into his man strength?
This is usually about the time you start to get it, between 22 and 26. That's usually about the time you start getting that man strength, where you start to become a grown man, so to speak. Some guys get it at 19, others get it at 22, and some guys don't get it until they're 26. It all depends on the person. But I just don't ever think Devin's going to have that type of thump on his punches where he's just going to be sitting dudes down left and right. He's got some knockouts, sure. But my thing is, and shout out to my guy, the Sweet Science Examiner, he said it over a year ago when he fought Linares: dominate the way you dominate. Devin, quit trying to. I think he's done that in his. I especially think he did it in the Linares fight.
Mm-hmm.
Quit trying to impress fans by getting a knockout, by chasing a knockout. If the way you're dominant is walking somebody's ass around that ring for 12 rounds, then do that. Stay on that power jab, land your uppercuts, land that stiff straight right, because that stiff power jab you got is amazing. That stiff straight right you got is amazing. That uppercut you have is amazing. You might not have the thump that T.O. and Tank and other guys have in that shot, but that's just never gonna. I just don't ever think that's gonna be Devin. I don't care how old he gets, how much and how far he goes up in weight. I just don't ever think Devin's gonna have that type of pop in his punches.
That's true.
And that's fine, because he has great skills.
That's true. That's true. Like, I like Dev. I do. I don't look at him like he's the greatest. He has a lot of skill, and I will say compared to people younger than him. But now he's moving past that young boy age. You know what I'm saying? So when he was 20 or 21, we can marvel at it. But when he get closer to 25 and stuff, he's no different than the rest of them, in my opinion. That's how I see it. He's gonna face some challenges if he move up. Let me unmute him.
I've been here in Winston 13 years.
Hey, ATL.
By myself, no family. Oh, I'm sorry, Missy. Dang.
I had muted you, so we didn't hear everything.
My bad, Missy. My bad.
Heard some of it. So I muted you. Now it's all good. I was just checking in with you.
What y'all talking about?
We were just talking about young Devin, because I remember yesterday ATL was telling me, he said, well, he's sacrificing big. You know, like how was you saying to ATL yesterday about Devin?
Yeah, he's sacrificing because he took 2.5 million and Cambosos got 10. But this is for all the fights. This ain't just for one. He took that for the whole package for his legacy, bro. 2.5 million while Cambosos got 10. I don't know what fucking Lomachenko would have got. You know what I'm saying?
Think about that, DJ. Do you think that was some big feat that Devin just did or showed the world? Or do you think he's sacrificing, like what I was saying yesterday, he's sacrificing like other fighters before him? It might not be the same situation, but
it is to me.
Devin Haney did exactly, well, not exactly, but something similar to what Floyd Mayweather did when he had to fight Oscar De La Hoya.
Remember ATL?
He had to concede everything to Oscar's side. The purse split, the glove size, the rings, the location, because he ultimately wanted that shot at Oscar. Devin did exactly what Bob Arum told him that he needed to do. You didn't sign with me, so you weren't going to get that Lomachenko fight. Devin is taking a risk by doing business with Bob Arum in order to get a shot at Undisputed and get a shot at Cambosos, which is ultimately what he wanted.
Why is it a risk, though?
I can't say that Devin sacrificed because he got what he wanted.
Why is it a risk, though?
It's still a fight, man. Anything can happen. If Devin loses,
I said that's why it's a risk.
It's still a fight. The risk is worth the reward. It's still a fight. If you beat Cambosos, become undisputed, beat him again, be the defending undisputed champion, and then go up and fulfill that third fight, you can write your own ticket. What can they say about Devin? Devin, the man. I'm young, fly, flashy.
Exactly. I think he's gonna do it because he got enough confidence in himself.
But if he
not monetarily, Devin got money. Devin got money. He's straight.
I don't care about the money. I said he got enough confidence in himself.
Monetarily. That's why I'm saying it's still a risk. Because not only are you going to another country, and arguably you're fighting one of the top.
It's a risk if they cheat like they did Deontay. But besides that, Devin Haney is 100% confident in himself.
Yeah, and that's why he took the chance. And that's why he took the chance. It's still a risk fighting one of the top 4 guys in the division.
Man, that nigga Cambosos is not no top nobody, bro. Like, come on, man, stop playing, bro.
No. Look. Here's the risk. Signing with Bob.
It's still a fight. Anything can happen.
Signing with Bob. Man,
I'm not believing that, bro. I watched Devin Haney for years, bro.
Signing with Bob Arum, period, is a risk.
They had to cheat that man to beat that man.
It's a risk. I'm not, I don't even want to wish this up on nobody. Devin, go over there.
Miss T, I'm standing on your show tonight. The only way
now we on to some shit
that Cambosos Jr. and fucking Bob Arum is gonna beat fucking Devin Haney is if they cheat. I'm saying it right now on your show live tonight. That's the only way they're gonna beat Devin Haney.
Well, hell, they just took the belts from Catterall, so
yeah, that did happen.
Look, man, listen, they took a belt from Pacquiao. They took a belt from Pacquiao.
No, I'm not agreeing to that. Pacquiao got his ass beat.
Pacquiao, man.
He couldn't even open his eyes, and his wife had to feed him oatmeal and soup.
No, he talking about when he fought Jeff Horn.
When he fought Jeff Horn.
Oh, we ain't talking about Jeff Horn.
But listen,
I'm saying that's why it's a risk.
Jeff Horn the past. We talking about the recent ass whooping.
Who's whooping his ass?
If he fights,
beat him like a redhead stepchild.
Listen, y'all. If he fights and lose that first fight, Imagine all the bullshit he gonna go through. They gonna treat him like a wet food stamp. Bob Arum is known to, do those type things. Am I mad at Devin? He did what he had to do. He did what he had to do based on what he wanted to do. So but Dev is, I know that Dev said he got his own company and stuff. But once again, because I say I be here debunking some of these narratives that, I like to be clear in what we thinking and how we coming up with our own thoughts and speculations. Dev is not a boss. I mean, he's somewhat of a boss, but he's not really a boss when it comes to spending money. Because I don't know if y'all heard what Eddie Hearn had to say about it, because he thinking when the fights and everything is over, they're gonna roll back with him. And I say to me, will he roll back with Eddie Hearn? Who knows? I say that Devin got enough boss in him, enough power where he don't have to. However, one thing you don't hear about DJ and ATL, you don't never hear about people not getting paid with Eddie. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong.
No, see that, and see, that's what vexes me about Eddie Hearn, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've messed over so much money over there with the Zone and Matchroom, right? Mm-hmm. You had $50 million or $160 million to get a Canelo, but you ain't got $10 million to make the Devin and Tio fight, like you said you did.
Yeah, and I said that about PBC.
You'll give Danny Jacobs a bag. You'll give Rocky Fielding a bag. You'll give Andy Biram a bag. Demetrius Andrade can't get that fight.
And Andrade, he got a bag. I mean, everybody who's worked with Eddie.
Andrade, I don't really know what these guys' purses are until I look them up. But I know because it was publicized. You just sent Andrade, one of your champions, to purse bid for $1.8 million.
Yeah, that low ass bid. Yeah, look, y'all hit the like button. I see the number go up and down. Come on, y'all. All of y'all looking in the peripheral. Do me a favor.
Hit the like button. It don't cost you nothing. I promise you it don't.
Just come in and hit the like button.
Only thing it'll cost you is a fingerprint. That's it.
Well, I slapped the shit out you like Will Smith smack. I'm just joking.
Oh, man.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. Too soon, I guess. Too soon. But that's the one thing about Eddie Hearn. I'm not claiming he is the best promoter.
And he was part of not giving us that Deontay Wilder AJ fight. So I can never forgive him for that. He was a part of it. I'm not gonna say it was all his fault, but he was a part of it.
Now, B-Mac made a good point to me. He's like, hey, when we be talking about people with 3 belts and 2 belts versus somebody with 1, Deontay had 1 belt, but everybody felt like Deontay should have had 50-50. Is that true, DJ?
I wanted him to get the fight. I wanted whatever it takes to get them in the ring. Like, even he said, he was like, I'll take the whatever it was. It was a 70-30 split at that time. He's like, I'll take the 30 as long as AJ take that in the rematch after I knock him out.
Well, yeah, but a lot of us black folks felt like it should have been even Steven. And I mean,
they had the first of all, I didn't care. As long as, because I knew Wilder was gonna knock him out, right? I knew that was pretty much a done deal. Put your name on it, sign it, send it. I knew Wilder was gonna knock him out. Give him whatever he wants to get him in the ring. So when the $50 million guarantee came up for AJ said, okay, cool, let's do it. Eddie Hearn was like, we can only give Deontay, 15 and, 15 max 12. And so Deontay said, all right, to hell with it, man. To hell with it. So I was between Eddie Hearn and Shelly Finkel and the guys at PBC and the guys at the Zone, all these assholes with money and all these assholes with suits, they couldn't figure out how to make that fight happen. Biggest fight in boxing. That was the biggest fight in boxing. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And they couldn't figure out how, no matter which side you sit on, no matter whether you thought AJ was ducking, or whether you thought Wilder pissed away an opportunity, all them suits couldn't get in the room together and figure out how to make that fight happen.
Miss T.
What's up?
I'm just letting you know I'm out, Shot. I love you. You come back on tomorrow. I'm here with you.
I feel you. We winding down.
Hey,
Thank you for being here.
Ma'am, who in the chat with us, man. Hey, I appreciate you goddamn joining us. All you stalkers that ain't hitting the like button, hit the leezy when you step in the heezy for sheezy.
I know, but jeez,
You know what I'm saying?
For our sleevesy. You know, I'm trying to make something sleazy. I slap
I'm
you
gonna
like
holler at y'all tomorrow, man. I love you, Miss T.
All right, ATL.
Love you
Take
too,
care,
love you
man.
too, man. Peace, ATL. But yeah, DJ, in the end of the day, I can't look at it like this. Like you said the same thing I said. Floyd Mayweather had to make a big sacrifice. I'm not knocking no fighter for having to feel like they got to make a big sacrifice, but I'm not gonna put Devin on this mountain top like he's doing something extraordinary. He is, but he is in a sense, but not in no grandiose sense. You know, he's doing what he got to take because he wants something, and he's like he betting on himself, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. A lot of people might not be as brave as him to do something like that, but if, like you said, it's a lot of risk because he's beholden to Bob. This is when I be saying, when I say things like somebody is not their own boss, I don't want people to feel like that I'm talking down to them or bad. But I'm like, when you say stuff like that, like if you got a guy on the corner be like, yo, I got a Benz and a BMW, and I got like 3-4 houses. Then you find out they live in a shack. You be like, what was all that for? You know, you want people to give you treatment like you're this grandiose person, and really, more different than the rest of them. But he's not his own boss when he's not spending his own money. And the day come, but he's in a better position to, I would say that. I will give him that and Earl Spence and whoever else has their own production or promotional company. You're in more of a greater position to be your own boss. The one thing you have to do to make that, to me, an actual factual is to spend your own money. And this is something none of them are doing.
I think the deal that they had was that Devin was co-promoting with Eddie. Like no matter what, he was going to get a DHP check and a fight purse check out of all them fights over there on the zone. I think he was co-promoting with Eddie, but Eddie was still paying him. So
Eddie says that. Don't you hear Eddie says that all the time? He did it with
T.O. Yeah, but if I was Bill Haney, I'd slap the shit out Eddie Hearn. Don't you ever tell my son to sell none of his shit to make a fight. Fuck wrong with you.
Like
that's your job. What you think we pay you for?
Yeah, Eddie makes sure he throws that nugget. I don't know if people can hear it, but he makes sure that he throws that nugget in it when he says, I pay you. You know what I'm saying? That means you getting a check from him. That means payroll taxes. Uncle Sam got his guy, all kinds of shit that went down. He pays you. So
punk, that's your job. If you want us to cut you out, we'll cut you out.
So when you're spending, like DJ, if I'm spending your money, if you say, okay, Miss T, look, I just got this bonus check. It's yours to do with, or just let me know what you want or whatever. I can't just go up in your whole bank account and just be splurging and shit without you having to say. You be like, Miss T, I said I was going to treat you, but goddamn, you want to spend every nickel? You are the controller of your account, are you not? Hello?
Right. So I'll start going putting on DHP cards in the Bay, and we'll move on from there in the Bay and in Vegas. I'm pretty sure I can find, some local community colleges and stuff I can pack out. Or some small, I can pack out I think what they used to call it. It's something different now, or it might be the same thing. UNLV's gym. What is it? I think it's Thomas and Mack Center.
Okay.
Look, yeah, that hold what, 5,000? Yeah, man, I could sell some tickets. I could promote in Vegas, sell some tickets.
Me and Fred that arena out. Me and Fred don't agree with a lot of stuff, but this is one area where I kind of agree with him. If when you say I'm really betting on myself, take your own money, and it's something to be said. I heard some people.
That's hard to do. How you gonna get it televised, Miss T?
It is hard to do. But when people show you that it can be done, you can't say it can't be done. Now, everybody, the only thing that I disagree with Fred is Fred talks in finite terms. I love Fred to death. Y'all know that. But he talks in finite terms. And Fred, to me, has to consider the fact that that, you know, everybody can't have the same temperament. Like there will be followers and there will be leaders. And for us in the world to down either side is crazy, because you have to have followers or there is no such word as leadership. And everybody don't have the temperament to be a leader, and i.e. boss, do boss shit. So sometimes, you know, a person is a better follower than they can ever be a leader, meaning they got to sit back and take the checks that you pay them and let you be the driver of the boat for the situation or whatever. But it don't mean that it's not impossible that these fighters who have had $1 million paychecks can't do exactly what Fred say they should do. So to me, that's why I say the things that I say about the boss, because the pressure, a lot of pressure that comes on these fighters, DJ, it got a lot to do with the narratives that are being put out about them, and even how their fans act about them. You know, if you make somebody larger than life, the harder they're going to fall. So how about you just make them what they are and leave it there? That way the fall may never come, or don't necessarily, you know, you don't get beyond your head, so to speak. What Devin Haney is doing right now, I commend him for it. He is sacrificing, but I will never think that he's doing something special, because him and a whole bunch of other people before him have sacrificed.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say sacrifice, but he's definitely taking a chance. He's taking a big chance, and he's betting on himself. Now, I'm not going to poo-poo the deal, because, you know, I heard a businessman say a long time ago, the best deals are when both sides feel like they got took. Those are the best deals. When both sides feel like they lost something in that deal, those are the best deals. Devin Haney lost a fraction of his independence, and Bob Arum's probably going to lose those belts. You know what I'm saying? He has to do business with a guy who has shunned him before. So you think that didn't hurt his ego a little bit? So he's having to swallow his pride a little bit, you know, to have to deal with that. But Miss T, I'm going to go ahead and slide out too. Thank you for having me on as always. I love talking this sport. I love talking this boxing talk, life talk with you. Hopefully this Bud and Spence fight happens this year. Look, you can sit in our section. I'm going to be right there with my Spence shirt on and my TBC hat. And, you know, we're going to be good. We're going to be good.
My big bro say he got my back.
I got your back, Miss.
Can I wear my Bud shirt? Fuck the dumb shit.
Absolutely. Especially on that fight. Absolutely.
Y'all don't have my back. I'm tell y'all.
We got you.
Furniture moving.
We got you. At the end of the day, this sports. Ain't no sense in getting that emotional over it. It's just sports. At the end of the day, we gotta go. We all gotta go back to work Monday unless you retired.
Look, I'm retired, but I'm an old bro. But listen, y'all, my attitude is built in, and Miss T ain't scared to do nothing. I ain't scared to befall anything. You know, if I gotta die, I gotta die. I have that type of attitude. Long as if it's worthwhile, if it means something to me, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So I ain't trying to be Barbara Badass. I don't think I can beat everybody, but Miss T got one of them type of attitude. Always have had it, and always will have.
I can't whoop everybody, but 2 or 3 of you finna catch hell.
I'm gonna get one of y'all, and guess what? If I gotta die for it, I gotta die. I'm okay with that. I'm ready to die.
Well, all right, Miss T. We'll see you later.
Take care of yourself. King. All right. So let me get through some of these chats, and then I'm gonna close it out. Sir Ambo said, if Dev stopped looking for the KO, put his punches together, and catch them in blind spots, he knocking a few more people out. Theoretically, that should be the case. Andrew Charles said, Haney pulls this off. He's a legend. He's making a legacy move. Andrew, I wouldn't. Again, he will have the same credence as anybody else who has become undisputed in one division. You know, legend, I don't know. Because right now, all I know is Devin Haney fighting in one division. If he has to move up, he has to move up. If he dropped them belts again, I don't begrudge him. I wouldn't begrudge Charlo. None of them for dropping the belts, because they all do it. If I get mad at them because my favorite fighter ain't gonna get a chance to fight him and get those belts, Come on, and that's hypocrisy at its finest. But if Devin gets those belts and want to drop them, then so be it. But I would love to see Devin fight Tank. I would love to see Devin fight somebody like Isaac Cruz. I would love to see Devin fight Loma. And I can't count on the Loma thing because Loma is otherwise preoccupied. But Tank and who else? Who I just say Isaac Cruz, yeah. And if he moves up, people like Elvis Rodriguez, or even when he move up and meet T.O., whatever the case, I want to see him fight some real challenging fights. People who got just as much stamina as him, can box just as good as him, or maybe a little less than him, because he's an excellent boxer. Make no mistake. Sir Ambo said Cam versus Dev is a great fight. Told a lot of y'all before Lopez, Cam, and Lil Dog. Ain't he got it though? Okay. Andrew Charles said Bob don't care about Cambosis. He cares about Loma. Yeah, but Loma ain't available. And we don't know if Loma gonna come out of that situation the same. Loma might be like, all this fighting and shit, I'm tired of it, mentally. Sir Ambo laughing. Andrew Charles said peace to ATL. And Sir Ambo said salute, bro. So yeah, I mean, that's all I had to say. We was talking about the fact, just recapping, we was talking about Tim Tszyu. Let us not be surprised if he get left out in the cold, because you got Earl Smith saying 2 more fights, I'm moving up. You got Bud saying, if you don't flinch right, I'm out. Like, if you don't say my name, you don't try to act like you want to put this fight together, I'm moving up. So if both of them moving up, is that bottlenecking? You got 3 lanes in the highway that's going to turn into one. If both of them move at the same time, who gets first priority? I think Bud. Not because he's my favorite fighter, but because the rules and the way it's set up. We just pulled up the WBO rules, so we know, we see it ain't pulling it out of our ass. We know that also I mentioned that Oscar wants Ryan to fight Tank. That might be lucrative for Tank. What I want for Tank is that once he's free, I want him to go for some belts. I want him to build his legacy. That's what I want. Because Tank, if you're watching, if you're listening, I am the person who really believe, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, so let me not say it like I take credit, but I am the person who believes that you could have been undisputed at 130, 135, and 140. I really believe that with all my heart. And wouldn't that have been a great thing? Who has done that? Who has ever done that? Like, I'm so positive that he had the goods to do it. Like, I'm like, without a shadow of a doubt, positive that he has the goods to do it. General Big Fish, what's popping, King? Bud is always second to Spence. If they both move up, Bud is screwed. No, Big Fish, we just went through that and we had the receipts to show it. I think, you missed that part. We looked up the rules, the WBO rules. Bud would technically be first priority by the rules. Now, by favor or whatever, to each his own. But by the rules, it would have been Bud. It should be Bud. But, we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Earl is on his third plan. If he feels like he's going to move up after the Ugas fight and one other fight, that next fight could be Keith Thurman. He said 2 fights and he gone. So General Big Fish said, don't matter about rules. Yeah, when you cake it for people, it sure don't, Big Fish. It sure doesn't. Sir Ambo said Tank is like Bud. Want easy money, low risk. Oh, Sir Ambo, no, you didn't. General Big Fish, there you go. You got a partner in crime and Sir Ambo. Money change everything. he said Tank is like Bud, want the easy money. Bud valued himself enough to ask for what he wanted, and he got it. He got most of it. It don't mean he got everything and everything was peachy dory. So, for the people to say, well, why he suing Bob? Because he wants to. That should be good enough for all of us. Because Bob didn't do something. And he's like, no, I'm holding you to what you agreed to. That's what a man's supposed to do. Isn't that what y'all teach our sons? Isn't that what y'all teach our daughters? That's what a grown woman's supposed to do. anybody. It's not a man or woman thing. Let me retract that. But I know it's something big that y'all teach our sons. Hey, when a man say he gonna do it, do it. And if a man tell you he gonna do it and he make promises or put it in writing, hey, you gotta live up to that. We're gonna hold your feet to the fire. So that's all Bud doing. So nobody should be upset that he's suing Bob or trying to figure out why he's doing it. And that negates the responsibility off of the PBC and everybody else. Because as I told y'all, I'm protesting the PBC. It has nothing to do directly with Bud or Earl Spence, and more to do with the Tim Smith interview when he alluded or let it be known that the PBC never was, not in the past, the future, or the present, going to entertain giving a fight to Bud. So what? So I have to sit there and say, why do I care now? Why should I even be a part of it? You gonna keep making that was the clearest point that they ever made for me. All them years, and that's the clearest they could ever get, which was January this year. But all that time, I'm sitting up here shelling out money to all their fights and everything. Because I'm waiting patiently. And now I know everything I was doing was in vain. So fuck the PBC. Because that's what they said to me. Fuck me. And that's how I took it. So, but it was indirectly to do with Spence. And sorry, y'all. That's how I took it. But it was indirectly to do with. Hold up, y'all. And I don't know why my phone was regurgitating. Must have hit a button. But that's why I felt the way I felt. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. If y'all watch this back on the replay, do comment. I like the comments. I like but some of y'all be emailing me. So leave a comment under the picture so I can see what y'all think or whatever. I won't always promise I will change something because I am uniquely me. But I do listen. I have an open mind. And I don't think that I'm perfect. And I think that sometimes if you make a argument in a way that sounds feasible and plausible or legitimate, I'm open to that always. It's all the networks, not just PBC. Yeah, it's all the networks. But I took what Tim Smith said personally because it is PBC as well. Now, I didn't like Bob Aaron for turns, but hey, who am I to tell another man, another grown person what to do with their money? Ain't nobody telling me shit to do over here. So that's how I took that one. Bob Arum, he will put his black fighters in fights. He just don't do right by them financially. He tries. Y'all men know this game. The more a girl needs you, the more you have control over her. And I know a lot of my kings, I'm assuming that y'all don't follow this approach. But y'all know and I know in this world, that is just common for men to do. I mean, shit, you got babies born today. I mean, you look at your son, he brand new. You already know this nigga gonna try that shit too. Because it's something about when a girl needs you, you got her right where you want them. That's why niggas be beating their chest about, I'm the breadwinner, I'm the king, I'm the whatever. That's why it's always been it ain't a problem like I'm the king, so I should make the most money. Is if she makes the most money, you can't control her. Because you can't control somebody with their own shit. Like when they making their money. You can't tell people what to do. And see, your issue is not your masculinity being taken or you ain't being given the king status. More so is I can't control another person. That's what you're mad at. So Bob likes to control the situation because he's going to have his favorite fighter that he's going to build up and make all this buku money off of. But he can't have it that his fighter is out there naked. So he has to control the potential contenders that his fighters can face by bringing them under his fold. And that's why you see him shelve this person and that person. And that's what Oscar did. I will never understand that business model because money is money. Like Floyd said, if you hate me, if you like me, the money is still green. It still spins. So like Oscar with Rashidi Ellis, Why would you shelve this dude if he is the goods? Make your money off him. Put him in fights. You know he gonna show out, but you rather for his best years to get behind him just to keep whatever you think you got safe. You want to throw your boy Virgil Ortiz, who's not a complete fighter and can be easily beaten if you could take his punch, because he's not a complete fighter. He's not a complete fighter. But hey, he's Mexican. Got the complexion for the protection. Sir Ampo said, who the fuck want to control another motherfucker? A lot of people do, Sir Ampo. Sadly enough, a lot of people do. A lot of people can't exist in life unless they have control. That's all about insecurities. And it can be about money when it's talking this boxing thing. Because if Bob got all the heavy hitters in 135 and Lomachenko, guess what? He can make all the dough off that he want off of Lomachenko. Ain't even putting them in pay-per-view and still making dough off of him. He ain't got to worry about nobody upsetting that path. Ain't no monkey wrench going to be thrown in that path because he controlled the people who can upset that. That's what it was about. Why he didn't make the fight with Bud and Pacquiao. Pacquiao for years was Bob's cash cow. So why let Terrence get at him and fuck off the few more millions he can get off of Pacquiao's back? So hey, I'm not gonna let you fight him. You know what I'm saying? But he's never shown that same due diligence or eagerness to use a black fighter like that. You know, elevate a black fighter and try to get all your money off of them. He gonna take you about as far as he can take you. And Bud suing them has benefited a couple of fighters. And I did videos on that too. One being Shakur Stevens getting this Oscar Valdez. Because Bob got to save face. So a lot of shit he's doing lately is to save face. But Bob is who he is. So anywho, thank y'all for listening and watching. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully DJ be there. We can talk about some MMA shit or some UFC or Bellator. Hopefully we can get off into that. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.